Facts. In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying
all the way through the show
to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child. For said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
Lessons, not lectures. Self-love, vision. Yes, sir. Cue the music, Noob. Yes, sir. We got a great one lined up for you. Education. Education. Black educators. Silverbacks are back because we want our silverbacks. So let's go ahead and jump this off for the regulars. They know what's going on, but for anyone who might be new to the Self Love Show, welcome to Chicago's very own The Self Love Show, where our motto is on earth as it is in heaven. Also, as above, so below. You can find us right here on YouTube on the channel This Ain't That Network, TATN. It's your co-host, Nine Mills, also known as Self Love. Just a kid from Chicago. Yeah. I'm just a kid from Chicago. What down, Chi-Town? What down? Hump Day. Today is Wet Nest Day, January 20th, 2021. I want to acknowledge we could be any place in this vast universe, and thankfully, we all Scooter chose to be here together. Here together. What down, self-love? What you manifesting today, good brother?
Love. Self-love. What you manifesting?
Love, G. Love. Hey, what's going on the south side today, bro? Over there in the hood, so to speak.
Ooh, so cold. Coldest day in a while. It snowed yesterday.
What do you want us to do TATN weather, and you want to be in charge of that segment? We got Beliak's going to be doing TATN sports here real soon.
Well, no.
I always ask you what's going on in Chi, and you give a weather report. So are you looking for us to spin you off into TATN weather?
Hey, why not? Why not? I can have it right back here. Be like right over. I need to be this way. Right over here. It's going to be nice and cold over here. And
it's snowing now.
It's snowing, but we know when that stops, it's going to freeze and it's going to be very cold over here.
Man.
But Dave, that's what be really going on, man. You know what I mean? The weather.
I feel that.
Shy.
I feel that.
I
Hey
can talk
man,
about the
this
inauguration, right? But that ain't in the Shy. People's reaction,
this
though.
tea is hot. Well, but was there a celebration? When when Obama won, they was crying and shucking and jiving in Grant Park. Was there any of that, Self Love?
I don't. No, I didn't see any of that. But people were happy and talking about it, though. But only some of the people were happy and talking about it. There's a lot of people walking around, unhappy and not talking about it. So, but that's a regular in Chicago. So,
yeah, well, I would give our weather report here in Inglewood, Cali, but people usually start cussing at me from the Shy. So.
I mean, no, I'm not gonna cuss at you. I mean,
Yeah, well,
it's a blessing.
I don't want to start, being smug and smelling my own farts anytime soon. So,
no doubt.
yeah, it's definitely a blessing, though. Yeah, man. But today we got education. So for anyone out there in the audience, this brother that's going to sit here today, he's got a lot of information and knowledge to share. We're going to keep it kid friendly, PG-13 friendly, the best we can. This is going to be a great tool. If anyone is struggling, any child is struggling academically, I'm sure if anyone can add some insight to your plight, it would be the gentleman that we have today. What would you say about that, Joe?
I would say that's very accurate. He's amazing dude.
Facts.
A great brother.
Flesh.
And he on top of his game.
Man, all facts. All facts. And if there's any other educators, or any members of the PTSA? PTA and parent teachers or something. Yeah, so if any other expertise out there, obviously we want to know. Type it in the chat. Let us know. We definitely want to know also your location, and if you are a teacher, where you may have taught at, things of this nature, so we could all be in alignment.
Absolutely. So the utmost importance.
Facts.
Welcome to the show. Glad y'all here. We have some business to take care of, and then the real things at hand. Our platform, the more growth and development. Please pay close attention.
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. We need y'all to subscribe, please.
And share. We need y'all to share as well.
Hit that thumbs up so we can get this room filled up. Please hit the thumbs up. Share this link so we can get people in here. We got great information coming.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silverback. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Buddy. Where the breadwinner's at? That bread. Yes. Man, so yeah, we had a great show yesterday. It was along these lines. We covered the differences in the types of education. So if anyone's interested in checking that out, it is posted right here on This Ain't That Network, TATN. Yeah, and, we broke down some things, like charter schools, private schools, homeschooling, etc.
It was a mind expanding, like all our shows. I so much information, that's new to me, and I've been around education, my entire life. My mom was an educator.
Yeah, administrator and everything. Yeah.
And still, eyes were opened yesterday. Like, mine for sure.
And that's the thing about, knowledge, bro. It's, what you learned yesterday, you have to keep learning. You know what I mean? It's always growing. We're all fractals, expanding consciousness. Man, did you hear about the well, I mentioned it yesterday, the congressman, but we had the wrong thing queued up. But yeah, we had a guy opening up the side door. You know how we used to do it in school? Open up the side door so people can come in and eat for free or something like that. You know what I mean? Or get in the gym, right? Yeah. Well, go ahead. We got a video. If you can run that, so I appreciate it, Nuke. Treason, y'all. This is treason.
We have new video tonight showing the actions of an Oregon lawmaker who let rioters into the Capitol building in Salem. Welcome to Coin 6 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Dan Silky.
And I'm Elizabeth Din. With that, Oregon State Police are still investigating Representative Mike Neerman. The Republican from Independence has not apologized.
So this new video from the Capitol answers questions about where he was going and how long he was gone. 4 days before Christmas, a crowd of right-wing protesters gathered outside a side door at the Capitol building in Salem. When they find they can't come in, the crowd disperses, with a few protesters standing watch. That's when you see Representative Mike Neerman just before 8:30 a.m. open the door. That allows two men standing nearby to rush in and hold two doors open. The two then motion to others by waving their hands. Meanwhile, outside, as Neerman walks away, others call for the crowd to regroup at the now open doors, and a confrontation with officers is coming. But until now, we didn't know what Neerman did next. This new video shows he walks around the corner to where a crowd is gathered at the west entrance. Neerman interacts with several protesters. At the same time, OSP troopers show up at the door left open by Neerman and push back protesters. Outside, the new video shows Neerman makes his way through the crowd. At the top of the screen, you can see more protesters move around the corner to where the door is open. At the bottom of the screen, you can also see two police officers retreating from protesters. Back inside, tensions are growing as state troopers try to keep the Trump supporters out. Outside, you can see 2 minutes after Neerman opened the door, he walks west away from the Capitol out of view. By then, the protesters are flowing steadily towards the open door. Tensions grow as more and more people gather, demanding they have the right to be in the building while lawmakers are in session. Meanwhile, on the south side of the Capitol, you can see a police car racing down the street. You can also see Neerman appear on the sidewalk 4 minutes and 36 seconds after he opened the door to protesters. At that same moment, this is what police were facing. Back at the south entrance, you can see Neerman take out his security pass to unlock the door,
he just came from the payphone talking to Putin.
The Capitol, where the House has continued to be in session. Back at the door he opened, rioters try to force their way into the Capitol. At least one person uses bear spray on the officers. Another hits them with the flag. Then the troopers pull back deeper into the building, followed shortly by the crowd that begins pouring in. When they meet the law enforcement officers at the glass doors, they sing the national anthem.
They be filming themselves breaking
Then
the
they
law.
begin to chant as this
Just like the
man,
Pookies
identified
on
by
Old
state
Block.
police as Chandler Pappas,
And
breaks
the
open
rappers.
the door before some kind of smoke is released.
Yeah, those are the
Police
Pookies on Old
manage
Block.
to push the protesters back. So I tried again to reach
Go ahead,
out
stop
to
that.
Neerman today. I have
Yeah, Neerman won't apologize. So he can't. Oh, my camera. Yeah, he can't apologize because, you know, I guess he would be incriminating. One would be incriminating oneself. But that looked, I'd just say it looked a little suspicious, to say the least.
Suspicious, man.
What
That
did
was,
you say?
he set it off. He let them in there. Period. He just stormed it on them like, yeah, I'm going to be coming out of the west side. And that's all he did was walk around front, talk with them some,
yeah.
and then went around to the other entrance.
Man, his plan, when he should have got in the car and went home and feigned some sort of family emergency. Yeah, you know,
something aside of, you know, walking outside and walking up there and greeting some of the people, and then walking around to another entrance and going right on back in. So why did he leave? He just needed to stretch his legs. I mean, you know.
And man, Oregon, bro.
He knew what was going on.
Oregon, you know that.
Period. There's no way around that.
Yeah,
it was part of the plan.
Yeah, man, and the state of Oregon, bro. That's, you know, a lot of those you know, nationalists out there. Yeah, that's the dog whistle for KKK. But enough of the appetizers, man. You know, Self Love Nation, they're here for a reason, and that reason
let's quench our thirst. Let's get it.
Let's get this going. So so if you can get the promotional video produced right here at TATN going, and then we'll get this show on the road.
Gotcha.
Liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the black man for over 500 years, so what do we have to get liberated from them from?
Is that Latifah? Black Educator series. So
that's right.
Yeah, that's what's coming. So everybody look for that.
That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business. They only introduced it to break down the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started with the black man, the black woman, and the black child standing.
Well, we're going to talk about some stuff here tonight. Oh, yeah. Y'all get them in here. We're going to talk about some stuff here tonight. You won't see it on MSNBC.
For freedom, justice, and equality, and more benefits in the country that they had built. They threw the white woman in there with the women's liberation movement and made it a woman against man thing. That created a big separation between black men and black women, because then everybody started going for self.
It's fact. Next Wednesday, for the Self Love Nation, we're going to continue our Black education series, Black Educators. This is going to be number 3. They say there's no black, you know, males teaching, but somehow Self Love Show, we've plucked out 3. Yeah, career teachers / administrators right there. Where?
In Chicago.
Man, right there in the great city of Chicago. So we're looking at Brother Pender, Pat.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Man.
Silverback.
Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the
Please
farm. They
reduce
keep that family
volume,
together.
Self Luv.
But in the black community, they make it a requirement because they want to keep endorsing into the black community that the black man is no good and that he is not deserving of respect. He is not deserving
Introducing.
of us letting him give us any protection
We got Patrick
and that we are better than them.
Pender, Chi-Town, Southside, Silverback. Earned his history degree, KA,
Yeah.
North Central,
The internet, the internet's not aware of what's coming, right?
ISU in the building,
Yeah.
Illinois State University.
Yeah. Expose, yeah.
Mostly self-educated.
Man, that's the thing about it. They don't even know
2016
what they're looking at.
National Teacher of the Year. 2016 and 2020 Teacher of the Year. Yo, on those achievements, yo. He's mastered the United States education system,
Turn us off.
particularly for disadvantaged
Feel real soon here.
urban citizens in the United States, dare I say, prisoners of war. Founder of his own private school enrichment program, Saturday and Sunday school. Self Luv, if
All right, Self.
I can get him in here and you can
Educator
stop the
series.
share as we do this
got-
together. See here, see if I can get this working. No, I need two hands. Okay, there we go. All right. So, Self Luv Nation and Self Luv, join us as we welcome Silverback in the building. What's up, Noop?
Good. I bring love.
Welcome to the show, Patrick Pender. We've been waiting on this conversation, brother. How are you?
I'm great. Like I said, I heard Self say what you bring. I heard Wordsmith say he bring love. Self bring love. I bring good love.
Facts. That's what it's about, brother. That's what it's about. And thank you once again, for doing this. I know there's other things you can do. We all got families and careers and things like that. So, this is good for our nation of people. So I appreciate you, stepping to the plate and taking some time out, for our nation. We've got Brother Patrick Pender here. He has Mr. Pender's Enrichment Program, as I mentioned. It's a Saturday and Sunday school program, top NWEA, ACT, SAT scores. They'll improve the standardized testing results, teaching original children how to succeed with less knowledge, ancestors, and culture. That's what they're about. So that's what's up. So yeah, what's up, good brother?
When you say teaching them,
Pardon me?
when you say teaching them with less, I'm not talking about having less.
Okay.
I'm talking about less anger and less frustration. That's why I started off the conversation with the word good. See, everything is strategic. We're going to lay foundation today and tonight. We're going to lay foundation.
I appreciate that clarification. I appreciate that clarification, bro. So where were you born and raised?
South Side, Robert Taylor, 3919 South Federal.
Wow, bro. I never knew you was from Robert Taylor's, boy. Big ups to those No Limits over there. That's a whole nother conversation. I mean, we may have discussed it, but wow, okay. All right, man. Well, man, that takes this conversation. Man, that's what's up, bro. I will describe what it was like being raised there in the time period, on a historical standpoint, coming up over there around the time, what was that, the 80s, you would say, early 80s, mid 80s? So what was it like?
77, I used to walk from Crispus Attucks. I was in kindergarten, 5 years old. So I used to walk home by myself. And growing up in the 70s on 39th Street, the heartbeat of Chicago, mad culture, but also mad misunderstanding. It was a lot of people, a lot of energy, but the education level was low and the desire was low. But I had a strong foundation because I had a beautiful mother and I had a beast of a mother.
So it was you, I guess the siblings and your mom at Robert Taylor's.
What's going on? Because he's still talking and we can't hear him.
Oh, okay. Let me see. That's
not
right.
on
We
mute.
can't hear you. 1 second, brother Pender.
She made sure.
There we go.
It came back in. Go ahead, bro.
She made sure that I got that education. So foundation, but it wasn't anything nice growing up down there. I saw a lot of things that wasn't.
We can't hear you.
Hold on, bro. It's we're having technical issues. Your volume went out, brother Pender. I don't think he can hear us either. Mic check.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now it just came back in.
And then
Okay.
it stopped.
All right. So you were saying, you and your so your mom was foundational over in the Robert Taylor homes. Any interactions with any family elders and ancestors?
I definitely want to actually start off by asking for permission to speak, which I should have did earlier from the ancestors. But you know how things go when you lie. So at this time, I'll acknowledge ancestors. I ask you to give us the blessing. And yeah, definitely. I mean, when you talk about the Robert Taylor, you're talking about two things. You're talking about red and black, and you're talking about blue and black.
Facts.
So you're talking about what the industry or mainstream call a gang, but we call an organization. And that really was the cipher that controlled that area. And either you was a part of that or you wasn't. And being a part of that brought a lot of violence. It brought destruction. It brought low functioning subculture. But we were striving for culture. And I'll explain the difference between culture and subculture as we proceed. But the reality of it was I had to understand that very early that education could get me beyond that environment and beyond that particular cipher. And moms helped me with that. But yeah, I remember at 5 years old, very vividly, playing downstairs in the field, building tall as hell, looked like it reached up to the sky. 5 years old. And I was playing football with grown-ups, adults, men who had probably been in the county the night before. And I stressed the night before. They probably hadn't even had anything to eat or probably had any house to enter, but they was outside playing football. And we're gonna talk about that culture as well. So my point is, they tell me, shorty, we gonna hand you the ball. You run through the middle when it open up and try to go as far as you can. And I did that, 5, 6, 7, and on up. And I grew up rough. So if I got knocked down by those grown men, I got back up. That was what it was growing up down there. That's a real story.
Okay,
so I was ready for Illinois State.
So there was elders or older men that was providing some guidance in the community as you were coming up.
Well, I got more education from there than I got from St. Elizabeth, De La Salle, and Illinois State. So along with the things that I learned from Torrey and Mills, I learned a lot of things from those positive, good, loving, strong Black men. Yeah, they might have had fishnet shirts on. wife beaters, braids, bald heads, tattoos, cigar in their mouth, but that don't mean that they wasn't good.
Facts.
Back to the first word I mentioned, as far as our foundation, our objective, what are we trying to achieve today? I want my audience to know we trying to achieve a good, wholesome spirit that follows with good, wholesome actions.
Facts.
Look like you froze up again. But those great energy.
Man, yeah, you froze right now, but man, yeah, there it is. All right, okay, we got you, bro. Wait, we can't hear you though.
First of all, it was called The Black Disciples by David Barksdale, who used the 6-pointed star as a reference to male and female energy. And he took that from what we call the Holy Book. So the foundation of that was something spiritual. And then we allowed COINTELPRO and everything else that exists opposite that cipher to do what it do, to program us to believe that we were a gang and that we had to shoot and kill each other. But that's really not what it was all about. Yeah, I learned a lot about life from down there. That was my true education, which enhanced my ability as a standard teacher in the cipher that we live and exist in right now. And I'll use that as a label because I'm never a teacher, I'm an educator. And we will speak back about that more as we move forward.
All right, well, you touched on something that I was thinking about today, like kind of like this national blood and crip movement, the red and the blue. You know, we had the inauguration, you know, whatever. I'm like, yeah, is that coincidental that, you know, that all of the organizations that he just spoke of are now being packaged into some controllable group that's now spreading all over the country? You know, like who's controlling that? The red and the blue. Yeah. So, any early interactions with pink people growing up, like in school, or what was your interaction with pink people when you were growing up in the Robert Taylor home?
My sophomore year at De La Salle. Oh, actually, my freshman year at
Oh, it's gonna be
Looks
frustrating.
like he's frozen
because
again.
he's dropping jewels.
Yeah,
Hold on, bro.
He can't hear it, so we got to tell him he needs to go back.
Yeah.
I had a
Okay.
Hold on. You got to go back. Go back.
Yeah, because you dropping out. You're dropping out. Like
So
you
just go
freeze
back
up.
to DSL, your freshman
Yeah.
year at DSL.
Yeah, go back.
I saw that I dropped out, so I just kind of stopped talking to wait to come back in.
Okay.
So at De La Salle, I was great academically.
Okay.
I wrestled 105 pounds, but I was all muscle. And I had a mind like a sniper. So all of that to say, I wrestled varsity.
Can't hear him again.
I'm telling you, it's the way you connect.
Professionals. And I beat the white boy in wrestle-offs. And after I beat him, I was in the showers, and they came and got me and told me I had to wrestle him over again because of some a mishap. So I went back to wrestle him over again, and the fat white ref told me I lost 3-2 in overtime. And I'm quite sure that they set the match to however they wanted as far as the scoring was concerned. I was wise enough to understand that. I crushed that dude all year long in wrestle-offs, and in practice taught him things that he didn't know. But to make a long story short, they took that from me, and it cut like a knife because I worked very hard all season long, not only as a wrestler, but academically and as a young black man up and coming in the world. I wasn't just going to allow people to take things from me, and I knew what was going on, so I stood my ground. And that, oh man, it bothers me right now as I speak because I know how wrong it was. But instead of me crying and whining about it, I made a move. I chose to lead the wrestling team. I didn't leave that year. I wrestled another full year to show that I wasn't quitting. And I left my junior year, and I decided to join the student council. upon joining the student council, my senior year, we had the one of the first Black homecoming queens at De La Salle. During the ceremony, Bonnie DeShine MC. I set that up because I was on student council, so I was part of communication and entertainment and outside resources connecting with our school, doing that high school administration, and me being a part, always being a leader wherever I'm at. So Bonnie DeShine came in, you know what I'm saying? She emceed the show, called me up in front of the student body, gave me a wet one on the lips. I'm 17, 18 years old. Great experience, but said all that to say, you know, when somebody try to take something from you, don't whine about it or cry about it. Make a move. And I made a move. I made a move spiritually, and I made a move intellectually. We had Brian Sales DJing our parties. We couldn't get Ferris, you know, but we had Brian Sales, you know what I'm saying? And we were a force. We made change at De La Salle through intellect and through muscle. I remember when I told all my buddies, Mo, Kobe, Robinson, that's Ronaldo's son, you know what I'm saying? My nigga Mo.
We grew up together.
From Mary Nook. These guys, I like, man, I know y'all don't care about student council, but I need y'all to show up and make this vote. All y'all got to do is come today. And if y'all come and sign up, then y'all get a vote. So I packed the student council meeting that day. And we outvoted the Irish, we outvoted the Polish, we outvoted the Canaryville posse, we outvoted the Bridgeport posse. So we had control of student council. We ran the basketball.
Yeah.
We took over the football team, man. So when we did our thing, we had the opportunity to put everything in the yearbook that we wanted, the way we wanted it to look. So man, basically what I'm saying, De La Salle tried to be De La Salle, but we let them know. The Catholics got all their knowledge from us when they went into Africa and learned about scripture and ways of life and culture. I'm not going to even call it religion. So I was just returning the favor. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. We had a brother, Knowledge was on here, and he was at Mount Carmel, and he had a similar situation that you described. He was shining academically, and they decided to give his position to a pink person, his senior year, man. He was playing with, who was he playing with?
Antoine
Donovan
Walker.
McNabb and Antoine
Yes, sir.
Walker.
They had a whip that year, boy.
Exactly. Yep. And that was his
Yeah,
start.
they was a little under us. Them was our little brothers. They had a whip that year. Once again, I mentioned, y'all came to us for what y'all need. We already had it. I'm talking to the Catholics out there.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, what advice or information would you give to your 9-year-old self? You know, if you're grown and you over there in the Robert Taylor's and you see yourself and you grown like you are now, what bit of information or what would you say? What would you say to your 9-year-old self?
I would say to my 9-year-old self that I need to do one thing. And that one thing would be to get me a dictionary. That dictionary would be my cell phone. It'd be my iPhone. It'd be my Android. It'd be my vitamin. It'd be my basketball court. It'd be my baseball diamond and my football field. Don't mean that I couldn't be doing those other things. It'd be my blunt. It'd be my black and mild. But I would get me a dictionary, and I would read it. I wouldn't read it as a chore. I would read it for fun, because I would want what I'm reading to digest into my cells and into my bones. And then when I start to articulate and when I start to speak and when I start to act, you will see that understanding of putting my life and myself into that dictionary. You will see it in the actions of my life. And then you will see how it take shape and form based on how I understand and interpret things around me, as far as words, conversations, symbols, and shenanigans.
So that's how important, like, the roots of words and origins is to you.
It's how important it is to everybody. They just don't know it. Without words, the three of us wouldn't be able to commune and flow like we're doing right now. The understanding that we have of words and of each other, it wouldn't flow if we'd have had a union that we had. And this union go all the way back to 92 at the beta chapter and the KH chapter. So bringing it up to the now, not only am I communicating with you in self-love, with words, but I'm communicating with y'all with spirit. I'm sitting in y'all place where y'all at right now with y'all. See, we're gonna really go there tonight. That's what education is. That's what life is. See, people sick and they dying and they hurt and they messed up because they not bringing what I just described to life in their own cipher. I made those things knowledge born. I made knowledge born to say that I'm sitting with y'all where y'all at right now, and that's real. I know y'all could feel that because I could feel it. And when we start thinking on those levels, that are confining our.
I swear, whenever he starts dropping God's consciousness, whenever he starts talking God's consciousness, this happens.
Yeah, but I know what he mean, because there's no space in time. There's really, it's all an illusion. Yeah, me and Mills commune every day. Every day we commune, so we're together all the time, even though he's in L.A. or not L.A.
Well, you know,
Inglewood.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Say,
to be specific, and you know, and I'm in South Shore. You know what I mean? So
no doubt.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling that.
So for anybody who might be wondering or who just joined the live, we're here with Brother Patrick Pender, and he's the 25-year educator, National Teacher of the Year recipient, but just down brother all the way up and down through and through. If you're looking for, and we'll get into his program later, but he is the founder and operator of Mr. Pender's Enrichment Program. It's a Saturday and Sunday program, which Self Love and I have discussed the necessity for Saturday schools.
Absolutely.
Top NWEA, ACT, SAT scores, and they improve your standardized test results. They focus on original children, how to succeed with less. And so that's with more love, knowledge, ancestors, and culture. So that's who we're with here. And once again, appreciate you doing this. How many times can you remember? This question for this guy coming up in Robert Taylor's. Wow. Because, bro, I spent some time on the West Side, man. And I remember my South Side friends, and this was the 70s, used to come over, and they'd be like, man, it sounded like straight war. I'm talking like the Lawndale area, and this is, man.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. And I remember, like, people in Tory's area in the hundreds, they'd be coming over and like terrified and it becomes. So my question for you is, how many times can you remember witnessing or hearing gunfire in your vicinity growing up in Chicago? And if not growing up, well, for you, how many times can you say if you've ever heard any of that?
Since 5 years old.
To put a number on it, how many times in a day you come home one day? How many times every day since 5 would you hear gunfire? Would you say every day? Would you say once a week?
Multiple times a day, countless. I mean, it was senseless, but it was also where the people were at. That's where that was their life. So to them, that means something. And actually, I'm not going to take that away from them. That's why I'm speaking about good. See, I'm not here to point the finger. I'm okay with them being that way. What I'm not okay is them staying that way. And that's why I became an educator. See, I live both sides. I ain't gonna point the finger at them. That's all they knew. So if they had to bang that gun to do what they had to do, then leave it in where it's at. Why are we still banging that gun in 2020 that we was banging in 1975?
Man.
That's the fucking problem.
Man, did you lose any childhood friends to violence, drugs, prison, alcohol system, psychological stuff? And if so, how many?
Countless. But I remember me and my brother Kareem had a shout out to my brother.
Yeah.
We bought a house together when we graduated from our respective institutions, and we used to call it the United Center. We kept the hardwood floors shine. Okay. And I'm sitting there on the couch with my hand tucked in my belly, and Kareem answered the phone, and Kareem drops the phone. This is December, Christmas Day, 1999. Kareem drops the phone and just dropped to his knees. Man, what's going on? Man, Shannon just got killed. Qatar on the phone crying. Instead of talking to Kareem, I go around to Shannon's mom's house, see if Shannon at the crib. Shannon ain't at the crib. I drive to 103rd in Peoria to see if he at his grandmother's house. And I see a lot of people outside his grandmother's house, and I got emotional. I didn't cry, but I knew he was gone. So I got the word from his cousin Sean and his other cousin and found out what happened. You know, I don't really even want to say the details, but he got killed by some gangbangers, and they went to his house and ambushed him. They was looking for somebody else. And the hardest part for me growing up, the way I grew up, knowing the things that I knew, but also striving to be good and making good decisions in my own life, learning from brothers like Tory and Mills, standing on my square and crossing them sands and holding up my shield. The hardest part for me was the fool shot him with his own gun, man. So he had a gun for protection, but he was too slow. And that's why I be on motherfuckers, especially my students, excuse my language. I be on motherfuckers, and I have been on motherfuckers since 1999 when I walked into that classroom. People want to bring their parents up to the school to fight me because I stay on their kid. I'm going to stay on your kid. And I'm going to tell you, when you come to fight me, I'm ready to fight. If I'm going to fight you for your kid, I'm ready to die for your kid. But ain't nobody looking for me no more, because I learned the different approach from the 1999 Mr. Pender to the 2021 Mr. Pender. I started off the conversation with the word good. That's our foundation. I'm going back to that. My spirit is whole and good. And I know everybody on this call and everybody that will see this call will see and understand that. Even though my face might be intense right now, my heart is light. My spirit is strong because I know I carry good. And that's my secret to winning in the classroom. I got everything I need to help a child with foundation, and then being able not to be Mr. Pender, but to learn to be themselves and be free and apply the knowledge. Apply the knowledge that they learn. Moving to my next point. What does it mean to learn? We need to learn how to learn. We need to learn how to learn. We don't even know what we learning and why we learn. We just out here following somebody else's script. Why don't we start off with foundation? And we're going to get into that. And when the hosts allow me to flow with that, we're going to lay this objective in this foundation as far as education is concerned for y'all. I'm going to give y'all a real good.
Hey, no, you're doing a great job teasing it, but that's exactly what we on tonight. That's why I'm not stopping you, you know, because that's one of the questions, and we're going to get there. I'm going to specifically ask you about education. What does it mean to learn and things of that nature? But who do you credit for you making it safely through Chicago, you know, at least getting you off to our state?
My mother, Linda, hands down. And there was a whole lot of other people that helped, but I'm just going to highlight my mom because she was the foundation, and she really did it by herself, other than the help that she received from her husband, who married her at a very young age and raised me and my siblings. And I send a shout out to him too, but I'm going to keep it simple, which my brother Love spoke about earlier. Simplicity, a simple message. My mom, she was a brilliant academic student herself, went to DuSable. My biological father went to DuSable. He graduated from DuSable when he was 15, but his life got caught up in drugs and other activities that landed him in a 36-year prison bid, which he actually just got out last October. And I went to meet him the day he got out at his mom's house, at my grandmother's house, and to hear his voice and to be able to embrace him was a miracle. Because I never knew that was going to happen, and we'll build about that more as well. But that's true. My mother, she was sharp, man. She was smart academically, but she was street smart, and she had the heart of a lion. I'm talking about a female that grew up on 45th and State. And, man, the things that she showed me about understanding the street and the mix with academic knowledge, y'all saw it when I was online. I wasn't playing. And even when we crossed them sands, I wasn't playing. Y'all saw it. She taught me to stand strong when somebody's standing in my face and asking me for information, and I'm able to give it to them and be accurate and move forward. Y'all was too responsible for me being able to.
I will say I saw that. Yeah. Yep. I can confirm. Yep. I saw that.
Yeah, y'all was too responsible for me being able to be here right now, but she led me to y'all.
Right.
Yes, Miss. She was sharp, man. She was smart, beautiful person.
Anything that stands out though, like you mentioned, she had that street edge, and she's able to tell you, suggest to you how to move, mixing the education with street politics. Anything, any particular lesson or something that stands out that she would tell you that maybe you even passed on the ream.
She always wanted us to be our best. I got all A's one time when I was in sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
And Shantae, my older sister, she got A's and B's, did great on her report card. Kareem did great on his report card, A's and B's. My younger sister, Camila, did great on her report card, A's and B's.
Mm-hmm.
We all at the dinner table growing up. Now we done moved from the Robert Taylor to the Archer Courts. They used to call us the Black Brady Bunch because we used to all sit down. My dad, my mom, and my brothers sit down and have a meal at the table.
Bro,
Mom, like what happened?
You had a father and a roof over your head.
The Black Brady Bunch.
Man. Yes. Y'all was the Cosbys, but go ahead, bro. Yeah, the Cosbys.
Man, and the Cosbys, definitely that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But this was before the Cosbys was even known. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why they. Right. But you right,
Black
you corrected.
Right.
No, the Cosbys, because we evolved. You know what I'm saying? So he like, man, what's everybody did good on their report card. He's sitting down, the meal is good. He had my older sister, her allowance. She 13. I think she in 8th grade. She in 8th grade. She get like $5 allowance. So he kick her with $5 allowance, give her $2 for her report card. He give my brother Kareem his $3 allowance because he in 5th grade. Kick him with $2 for his report card. Give my younger sister her $2 allowance. Give her $2 for her report card. He kicked me my $3 allowance because me and Kareem right next to each other. Shantae got the $5 for allowance, the $2 for her report card. Kareem get the $3 for his allowance, $2 for his report card. He give me $3 for my allowance. He kicked me with a $5 bill for my report card, getting all A's. I'm telling you, before I could close my hand on that money, my mother snatched that $5 out of my hand and kicked me with 2 bills like everybody else. Yeah, you got all A's, but you ain't special. We treat all our children the same in here. If you were able to get all A's, you keep getting them. Go and take them $2 and be about your business. That's what I mean by she raised me hard. I never forget that lesson. And at that moment, I wanted my $3 out of that $5, but those $3 made me a whole lot better person today because I'm carrying them with me right now.
Facts.
In the form of actions, in the form of results.
I feel like the lesson in that was, don't do it for the money, do it for the self.
I received.
Yeah.
But she was that type of person, man. She gave us scenarios where she taught us things through events and moments in our life. And I can vividly remember that to this day. I could still see us sitting around the table, which many of my friends, they had no table to sit at. Definitely nobody else to sit around the table with them. And definitely not a father, not a man, not a white chromosome who had bass in his voice and who had a job and who was a professional, who graduated from Illinois State, which is why I wound up going there. So it all ties in together. But yeah, Linda was a beast, bro. Man. Still is.
Hey, great story. Real quick.
But also too, to pinpoint a little bit about your answer, she was very strict on language. Like you and that took me somewhere, which I'm gonna explain later on in our conversation. But language, man, and symbols.
Okay. We're gonna get there. And just running through the chat real quick. We got Omni Overseer, that's Andre Pullen, Noop, One Love, Self Love, Yo. We got Jasper Smith, the Self Luv Show, sharing that good knowledge once again. That's what's up. What down, Jazzy? What down? We got DJ J Grilla. Pat, what's good, my dude? Solid all the way around. It's a blessing. You fight for our kids like you.
Real big clap.
B Creamer, Bernard say evening, good fellas, and said what up, Pat. So we got want me backtrack a little when you were talking about the fighting. Self Love and I, we did play the video yesterday. It was one, I forgot the name of the school, but it was in Philly, and it was from 2 years ago. It was like one of the worst schools traditionally in the country, and high school, I believe. Yeah, it was a high school, right?
Yeah.
And so, out of 70 kids, only one parent showed up to parent teacher conference. So, now this parent that showed up to fight, was this the type of parent that would show up to parent teacher conferences and care every day? Or is this the type of parent that just the kid told them some stuff and then now they want to come up and fight?
I don't understand the question.
Well, you said there was some fights with a parent upset or whatever as a fight, and I'm just wondering, was this parent active in the child's was the parent involved in the child's life as far as showing up to parent teacher conferences?
Oh no, not at all. I definitely understand the question now, not at all. And one incident, parent came up there and I had to handle my business, and the kindergarten teacher told me that he had never seen that parent up there before, and the girl was in his kindergarten class, and at the time of the incident she was in 7th grade. So come on, man, you ain't been around since kindergarten to 7th grade and you want to come up here and fight? You ain't been to no conferences and you ain't did nothing else in this life. That's what make our system messed up,
man. Exactly.
But he got everything he was looking for when he came up there, though.
Right.
And then some.
Hey, because to a man, I can respect you, standing up for your kids. But man, you just coming up here to fight. This is the first time I see you. You know what I mean. And I know you're the type of educator. You were sending out overtures or trying to reach out to the parents, or somebody was. But
had a great relationship. Had a great relationship with the young girl, but
well, that was the issue. He was jealous. So excluding
and with the school.
Yeah, he was jealous. She was probably saying great things about you, and that was what it was. And so, but we're gonna vibrate love, like you said. So big ups to the ancestors. So excluding, this is kind of linked to the last question. So I'm assuming it's probably gonna be your mom. So, but excluding Pat Pender, whom do you most attribute your success to?
Does it have to be a person, or can it be a concept?
It could be whatever. It could be whatever. However you want to answer. It could be a concept. Yeah, we can do that.
Man, resilience. Resilience, man. I'm telling you, y'all have no idea, man. I gave my life for this stuff, man. I ain't go back to get no master's degree, no PhD. I went to the streets, man. I've been in these kids' houses. I done been accused of things. I done had people not like me because kids like me, because I was able to reach them. I mean, I done had people not like me because of my skin is dark, and because I was able to be successful as a dark-skinned Black man, short at that, with a big nose. Come on, man. People just did, man. It's hard out here, man. And I ain't talking about for no pimp. I'm saying it's hard out here for an educator, man. Y'all got to understand. I'm a danger. I'm a threat, and people subliminally do what they see around them. See, when you saw the little clip of They Live, everything around us tell y'all to hate me and stop me from helping these children. See, a Black man don't have no power in his own house. A prophet ain't welcome in his own town. Who makes decisions in the Black home? The Black woman. We going to this place for vacation. We going to that place for vacation. Then the aunties get together and they say where we going and what we doing. Let a Black man say, hey, can I have a grape jelly on the toast? Hell no. It's going to be strawberry because the female said it. Because she got the jobs and she got the power with the law and all these other things. Plus, she not going to just agree with him because she been taught not to. It ain't her nature not to agree with him. It's her nature to agree with him. But she not going to agree with him because she got the power not to. And when you give somebody power to do something, most of the time they abuse it. Why are they abusing it? Because they angry, they frustrated, they depressed, because they not dealing with good. Brought it back to the beginning. I came in here with good, and
we rolling, man.
Yeah, it was going good for a minute, huh?
Yeah,
That's
Great.
one of the kids, somebody in the house doing something, logging on and logging off. Say something, bro, because you went
In
out.
our face, we can't make a decision.
Hey, we dropped you.
I'm back. Where we stop at? I was
Yeah,
talking about to the aunties, to the
aunties.
listen, the aunties, the mothers, the sisters, strong black women. Y'all gotta let a man hang low. Y'all gotta let a man be a man. Y'all gotta let a man make a decision.
Man, you gotta let him move.
Y'all gotta listen to his decision. Y'all don't even listen to him at the dinner table. We'll be sitting at the dinner table and mom talking about what's on Facebook, watching her daughter play with the phone, or dad sitting there talking and ain't nobody listening. Son got his headphones on. Dad says, everybody put your social media away. We're going to have a family discussion while we eat. And mom say, no, let them do what they do. They might get upset or they might start screaming. They might be the ones paying the bills and making the decision in this house. Come on, y'all, man. We got to get this thing together, man. I make decisions in my house.
Man.
I'm an educator. Y'all been coming at me all these years because I've been telling y'all kids that I make the decisions so they can learn how to make a decision. Women, let your man make a decision so y'all can learn how to make decisions and y'all can be in union with one another. That don't mean y'all ain't leaders. Let a man be a man. Let a teacher be a teacher. Let a black man educate. Y'all telling me I can't educate these kids because I'm winning and y'all don't want to see them change. Because y'all depressed. Go get you some counseling. Go get you some help so you won't be mad at me for telling the truth. I'm still standing on it. Y'all can't stop me from educating these babies. I'm coming with good.
Yeah, and I'd say be a consigliere, a buddy, advice as opposed to someone giving directives. I think that'll work out better because even how men relate with one another, we're consigliere.
Same thing.
We give advice, we give guidance, but we don't give directives. It just doesn't work. And if a man is dealing with someone that's that way, you either fight physically or you stop hanging around that person at all. Most of the times as men, we stop hanging around them. So there's something, for women to think about as well. But that was a good point, bro. But I wanted to ask you, man, because we don't want people to take this as female bashing because you gave big ups to your mom. And so I wanted to ask you a quick question. What would you say to brothers who say that society should take a serious look at incarcerating the moms and the grandmoms for the crimes of minors who are being charged as adults?
No, they shouldn't incarcerate them. How you going to incarcerate these individuals and they unequipped, they unarmed? You should educate them, and you should economically support them, and you should teach them how to economically support themselves. I'm not female bashing. Part of the reason why we asking this question is because females won't let a man be a man, because that man is going to be a man to his female as well. I love you, black women. That's why I'm speaking on. But it's a union, and we got to find that togetherness. You got to support your man. But as far as putting people away for what these young people out here doing, I don't think that will be the right move. What has to happen is we need the balance of the energy between male and female. Because if the balance of that energy come, a 20-year-old is not going to tell a 36-year-old man that he going to walk out the house with this gun and shoot somebody. If that 36-year-old man involved in his life and helping him move forward without having to go outside the house and shoot somebody.
Facts. As a silverback, and we call it that because we want our silverback. We're going to repair our nation through reparations. So as a silverback big homie, what advice would you give to a young black kid, in Chicago that may be in the Jets or on the low end or what have you? What advice would you have for that individual?
I'm going to give them the advice that no one was able to.
Hold on. Wait. We can't hear you and we need to hear this. So hold on. Can you hear me now? Hold on. Wait. We need to hear this. So wait. Hold on, wait 1 second. Mic check. Let us know when you can hear us, because then you can mic check 1 2. Say something, Reem. Say something,
I'm
Pat.
back. I'm
Okay,
back.
all right. Go ahead, bro. So start from the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them something that no one gave me, that I think is very important. And I recently have been on this journey in my own life. And I'm not wasting no time to give it to everybody, but especially to the young. The first thing that I've learned recently and that I've practiced is that your thoughts and your spirit, how you carry yourself and what your mind is thinking, is really everything around you. So if you angry and upset, nothing is going to work in your life. So you got to be calm. You got to have positive thoughts, and you got to reinforce that constantly and consistently. You got to speak that to the universe, and you got to put it forth through your actions to be happy. To be happy. Happiness is the highest form of understanding for one individual. So as an individual male, a man, a father, a husband, I'm happy. As a friend, as a brother, as an uncle, as an educator, I'm happy. I have to be. I have to exude that energy and that presence, or everybody will move away from me. I learned that. Because remember, I grew up in the Robert Taylor. I used to walk around frowning all the time. I still carry that scowl, but I also have educated myself and reprogrammed myself to unlearn what I learned and now learn something new. So I'm telling y'all, what's new is your spirit and how you present it and project it. But you got to also understand, you one with the universe, you one with the atmosphere, the protons, electrons, and neutrons. So I'm talking about the gold dust in the air. Everything that you want is in the air, but you can't get it if you're not good. The moment you turn bad, that's when you got to start all over. So I'm going to give that to these young people. You got to be good. You got to carry good with you in your thoughts, your action, and your spirit. And
of course, the spooks cut him off.
Man, because he...
Yeah. Hold on. Wait.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Gotta be good.
Mic check. 1 2 3. Still nothing.
Energy over a 10-year period.
That's all right. Let him keep going.
Oh, my bad. You got to go back to the energy, because it
imagine
when we do this, we can't hear you. Just know that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got energy being good, and the moment that you're bad, all of the energy that you was using to be good is taken away. So now you got to start all over again. So imagine if you have been good for 10 straight years and then buy into no negative energy. Imagine the complexion of your skin. Imagine your glow. Imagine the fluid in your body and how it flows, and how you moving through your own life, and how things around you is blossoming. So that's what I'm going to give to not only that child, but to everybody around me, and everybody on this call, and everybody that will see this call. It's about that continuous cycle of producing positive thoughts and reaching for happiness and good, and going from that as an individual to the next level of love, because love is the highest form of understanding for two people, and then peace, the highest form of understanding in the universe. So now you starting with self with happiness, then you building with others with love, and then you tapping into the gold dust that's in the air with peace. And the gold dust that I'm talking about is the thought of existence, which you are a part of. So if it's in your mind, it's as above, so below, as Self spoke about earlier. It's as above, so below. So as you think above, so it falls back down below into your physical cipher. And if you're angry, that's what's happening. So you got to keep being positive. And once you get to that positive level, once you get to that consistent level of light and being happy, your thoughts and your actions based on what your agenda is, it take off. And then you start to see the blessings come from the universe and how things is happening. But the more you educate yourself while you being positive, man, that combination and that matriculation is beautiful.
Man, well said, bro. And in case you guys are wondering, we are with Mr. Patrick Pender, National Teacher of the Year award recipient in 2016, Teacher of the Year in 2016 and 2020. And so this brother has been an educator. He doesn't like teacher, so Educator of the Year, but he's been an educator for over 25 years. He started his own enrichment program entitled Mr. Pender's Enrichment Program, and it's for Saturdays and Sundays. And anybody in the chat, we appreciate you guys standing up, way down. Please like, share, hit the thumbs up, share that link as well. We got Big Creamer said, no truer words. It's hard for a black male educator, man. Yeah, you should have heard Big Creamer's thing.
Man.
I don't want to talk about it. All right. Motri says, go to work. And Motri says, while they holding hands, I'm towing cars. Okay. I'm the overseer says, vibrating love on the good. H. Motri, the mainstream media, y'all know who keep cutting them off. Yeah, that's probably is who cutting them off, bro. That's the spooks. They own YouTube and Google, and they know it, and they know I know it. But what can we do? All right, and then we got Motri saying, keep doing the good work, my brother. He was encouraging. Yeah, straight up, bro. And, yeah, and you keep towing those cars out there, too. Keep those city streets clean, you know. All right, so well, I want to ask how have you utilized that Chicago upbringing in your profession?
It gives me great respect and foundation with the youth. The youth look at me as someone genuine. They look at me as someone that they can trust. They look at me as someone that they can learn not only about.
Hold on, they're trying to cut you off again. They're spooking
Never
us.
fails.
1 second. Yeah, right at the start of his responses. Right?
Yeah, this is
different. Learning about things that most people can't teach them. They open to allowing me to do that. Learning about literacy. I got a 20-year-old that can't read. They got 2 kids that don't have a high school diploma, and they open themselves up to let me teach them things that you got to teach an 8-year-old. But then by the time they leave, they on the level of a 20-year-old now, because they done condensed those years by getting a stronger foundation. And now with their wisdom, they're able to bring it up to a different level in a small amount of time and better matriculate their way through life. So, I mean, the combinations that I'm using is serious. The homework that I've done is it's countless hours, countless nights, countless days, countless situations. Every situation I've ever been involved in, I use it as fuel. I use it as notes. I use it as ammunition, and I use it as part of the curriculum. But I do understand some of the things that B. Creamer was talking about. You all, I really don't want to speak on it all a lot, but I've had nightmares as a black male teacher, and I'm gonna share one bit of information with y'all that I've never shared before, but I do want to share it because it's important.
Do share.
This shit, excuse my language if it's any young people on here or any moms or children. I don't want to offend you all, but this one really bothered me. And I have to share this so you all will understand what we go through, what I've been through. And also, really quick, I want to speak to women on here about how a strong black man supposed to love black women, or a strong man, or a man, period. I'm going to speak on that as well. We love y'all, but we just want the opportunity to do that. I don't want to be a woman basher, but I do want to speak the truth. And I do want to speak about how we have to show more love to our women and be more caring and renaissance with them.
Man,
but
gentle.
Definitely, exactly, gentle, going back to good. But my mentor, may he rest in heaven, Mr. Daniels, who also had a great effect on me becoming a good educator. Vietnam veteran, did tours in Vietnam, came back in 78, I think, and started teaching in the streets of Chicago, in the city of Chicago, taught at some very tough high schools, but wound up teaching at St. Elizabeth. And he really helped me become the spiritual teacher that I am. And instruction wise, he helped me a lot. He pulled me into the room one time, sat me down, and he told me that some things had happened with a student. And the student had told his family and some things about me. It was a student who was a foster kid. And I didn't even know that the student was a foster kid, but the student had some issues. And there was a lot of things in this student's IEP or whatever. And none of this was ever told to the teachers, you know. So to make a long story short, the student took a liking to me. And there was a male student. He was a 7th grader. He took a liking to me. And in his diary, he would write things about us. And he accused me of being with him. And it was a big investigation done, police involved in everything. But not one time did anybody ever tell me about all of this stuff while it was happening or going on. Until the investigation was unfounded, Mr. Daniels was the only one brought it to my attention and broke down to me what was happening behind my back as a black male educator. And the hardest part for me is the reason why the young kid did that is because I was a good academic and SEL, social emotional learning. I was able to reach him
because you cared, and
because I had the skills to apply that care. But this guy said that I did things with him. Do you know what that did to me as a alpha male, a husband, a father, all of these things. But like I said, that question you asked me, you said, what's one thing I would mention? And that's resilience, baby. Resilience, Teflon. It was nothing they could pull. So that spoke about my integrity. It called me a homosexual. I mean, come on, man. It's countless things we could speak on, and shit's bothering me sharing it with y'all right now. Man, but it's real and true.
To even have to, talk about it.
And this was early in my career, so I could have walked away from education. I could have gave up and quit. But I realized what my mission was and what I was sent to do and who I was sent by. Thank you, ancestors.
And bro, thanks for sharing that, man. And you walking your walk, you on your path. So I tend to find that when you're on your path, things that try to knock you off your path. So, just stay focused. But there was other, I've talked to other teachers, man. I would say 40% of the teachers have expressed that they've gotten into fights with kids or parents. You know what I mean? At least that have expressed. So that means it's probably more than that. I mean, it's just, man, that stuff doesn't, get talked about enough. That aspect of what you're talking about, all those different dynamics, man.
Yeah, I'm back. I was out for a while. I couldn't hear you.
The people that care too, talking about the getting attacked by students or parents, and the ones that care, that's be the ones that care that get, they come into attack and you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the craziness behind it.
Yes. The ones that care, the ones that are trying to motivate the student. Yeah. Well, what's your take on Black Lives Matter?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that I got cut a little bit, and I got cut when you were mentioning that other educators had been through some things. I couldn't hear what you and Tori was saying.
Yeah, well, I was saying that at least 40% of the educators that I personally know, the black male ones, have had some sort of physical altercation with students or parents, which I find
that's just the perception of us in our society today.
It's just every time. Not every time. That's crazy.
Yeah, somebody's there's a internet shortage. They're doing it for covert Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. What measure should the black community do to close the economic gap with our pink counterpart? Well, no, we want to go back because I wanted to hear your take on Black Lives Matter. We never heard that.
Oh, I know this gonna be I already know this gonna be one, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. Black Lives Matter is basically the same as a polo shirt or a Gucci belt or a pair of Kohans. It is an entity by mainstream rich white people who making money off of it.
Mm.
And they use situations where men and people were being killed, women, black and brown, and considered to be of a lesser class, that if you got Black Lives Matter being talked about all over the place and on the news and in the mainstream and the periodicals and the media, then and it's making money, they're gonna want it to keep making money. So if that's gonna keep making money, then what's gonna keep happening? I'm done.
Interesting concept. I know we had a brother on here who said that their office is located in DC, like literally right between Soros's headquarters and then the DNC. So yeah, I hadn't personally verified it, but I don't have any reason to doubt this brother. So what measure do you think the black community should do or measures to close the economic gap with our pink counterparts?
I'm not going to even waste nobody's time or play no game. I think every black family should get the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder.
I haven't read that.
And when you get that book and you get the concept of that book, and when you get the concept of unity and what Johnny Coleman was trying to teach at Christ Universal Temple, and you start practicing what those people was talking about, you will see your life change. And I'm not talking about swinging on tambourine. I'm not talking about calling on Jesus. I'm not talking about being part of no cult. What I'm talking about is knowledge. I'm talking about understanding the knowledge. And I'm talking about understanding symbols and cycles.
Hey, well,
and
rest up to Bishop Johnny Coleman. That's I attended that church from like 83 to the time I went to Beta.
So basically what your family had got you involved in was what they call is prosperity thinking. And a lot of people start trying to turn it into something bad and evil. And that's why I started off the conversation with the word good. See, that foundation, nobody could take that from us, y'all. When we started off this call with the word good, that gave us our foundation, and it led us right to what Self just got through talking about. That's where I got it from, Self.
Well, Johnny didn't tolerate laziness. She didn't tolerate excuses. She liked order. Her parking lot wasn't going to be blocked by one person who decided he wants to sit there and block all traffic and talk to everybody. You got in and out, and then so you noticed that the parking lot was full of nice cars and people doing well. And her premise was that, if you're going to my church and you've been here 10, 20 years and you still live in, projects, or you still live in a rat infested apartment, either you're not listening or I'm not doing my job. And that was her principles. And people took that the wrong way.
Well, they wasn't at the point of understanding. See, she was way beyond them. And that's where it comes back to education. In order for me to make the statement I just made about Catherine Ponder and Johnny Coleman and Reverend Eichenballer, Dennis Kimbrough, what's his name? White guy, Napoleon Hill. In order for me to make the statements about these people, then I got to know something about them, and I gotta have practice or put forth action and saw the results if I'm gonna mention these people, because I ain't gonna just mention them just to mention them.
Right.
But as far as economics is concerned, it starts with what I mentioned about the gold dust, what I mentioned about the good. See, whatever you putting out there is what's coming back to you. So if you angry all the time, or if you frustrated and upset, how's something good gonna come to you? Yeah. If you doubting, then how is the thought gonna be born? If you walk around saying, man, I didn't get that job. That's why you didn't get the job. But if you walk in there, fill out the application, and know you're gonna get that job, you're gonna get that job. People, that's what I'm saying to y'all in a very short way, in a very quick way. Go get it.
Yeah, and in the interviews,
but continue to educate yourself, because you can't do nothing with something if you don't educate yourself, and that's very important. I know we on the surface with each y'all, but y'all got to keep educating yourself. I got to keep educating myself. Y'all got to start understanding money. Y'all got to understand actions. You can't get paid $200 from your McDonald's check and then go buy some Jordans.
Facts. Yeah, and what I've learned, bro, to your point about the interviews, what I've learned is, you can start, once you learn that you're interviewing the person that's interviewing you, it should be a question of who's interviewing who. Once you can let off that impression that I may not even want this job, right? Or, and we always negotiate. When I say we, I mean us as a people, from a position of desperation. We're always desperate.
Right.
My credit's bad, so I gotta go to low credit car rental. Go ahead, bro.
Can I please jump in?
Yes, please.
You just said you said desperation, right?
Yeah.
So remember when I said,
hold on, bro. Hold on. We can't hear you. Wait. Mic check. Go ahead. Can you hear us now?
No.
He's frozen.
I'm back.
No, now
okay, you're back now. Go ahead, bro. What were you saying?
Desperation.
I was saying that desperation. The moment you start acting desperate, that's when you kill your winners.
Yes.
That's when you cut off the line of the protons, electrons, and neutrons. Yes. You cut off the electricity. You cut off the energy that was coming from all of the good places that's connected to you. You cut.
Man, it's frustrating. Yeah, and so that's what I was saying. So pretty much along those lines. To his point, though, I would be in interviews, and you start, when they ask you got any questions?
That thought of knowing that it's yours and claiming it.
Yeah.
No desperation, no fear, no backwards thinking, no shaky knees. All of that brings destruction. You can't play not to lose. You got to play to win.
Man. And it's all in how you frame your questions, bro. When somebody's sitting there, if I'm sitting here in an interview, we have to understand that company needs a good employee as much, if not more, than you need a job. And so what happens is we lose the relationship. Once you there's a slave owner to master relationship, a master to slave relationship. So, and it's an employee boss relationship. And it always has to be, listen, I know I'm replaceable, but so are you. We're replaceable. You know what I mean? And that's what keeps everything with that balance. Because as soon as your boss thinks this guy can't get another job or, is desperate, then they start taking advantage of him.
It's only two things in an economic relationship: master and servant. You got to choose one. You either the master or you the servant. And what we've been taught and what has been bred into us is to be the servant. So we coming out of that. But as we come out of that, now we got to learn how to be the master. And when I say learn how to be the master, I'm not talking about being bad and being downtrodden. I'm talking about claiming your kingship or your queenship, but being righteous.
Man. So we got a chat. Motri says Black Lives Matter collected $10.6 billion between June 2020 through December 2020. They need to repair the minority businesses that they destroy. Black Lives Matter can issue out stimulus checks. Okay. He's going to have his own show. We're going to have him on here soon.
Let me say this, though. Can I say something about that?
Go ahead, bro. Even
though I spoke about Black Lives Matter being who and what they are, if people support them and people buy stuff from them, that's what they do. If McDonald's put a building up on the corner and put their arcs up and people walk in there and buy it, That's on those people. So I'm not blaming Black Lives Matter. We have to get educated. We got to stop giving them our energy and making them rich. It's not their fault. We got to wake up. So we got to educate ourselves. We can't be mad at Black Lives Matter. We got to educate ourselves. And I'm not saying be mad at ourselves. I'm saying educate yourself. Go learn a symbol. Go learn one symbol. Go learn one symbol. And if you learn that one symbol, it's going to take you a million places. And you're going to learn so much from learning that one symbol. It'll help you start to be able to crack the ciphers of how Black Lives Matter came into existence and what they're doing. And then at that point, when you get the knowledge, you got a choice. If we don't see no change after that, then it's on us.
Okay, and we're going to get into the education segment after this question. Share a personal situation where you share a situation where you felt the impact of racism, or a 12 story, meaning you had interaction with the police, whether good, bad, indifferent.
So both, or just one or the
other? One or the other, or you could do both.
Okay, racist situation, Illinois State. Sophomore year, speech comm 110. It's 2 blacks in the class, me and this other girl from Evanston. Everybody else white. Of course, I had the best speeches in the class, since the students said I did. But the professor, a grad student, white girl, probably about 24 years old, and no, she's probably about 28. At the time, I'm probably about 20. And she gave me a C. And I went to her and quarreled with her about the C. I went to the department chair, and the department chair ruled in with her. And she said she gave me a C because she couldn't understand the way I talk. And I told her she gave me a C because she didn't like the way that I talk, and that she thought either I had a country Chicago drawl, or I talk like a nigga from the South Side, or a black person. Right. But I was very articulate. And as far as the objective of what we was trying to accomplish in Speech Comm 110, I met all of the requirements.
Man,
everybody said I should have got an A, but I got a C. So that made me want to learn about speaking and words and symbols and culture and society even more. So she just created even more of a monster. But police officers, one time I'm leading Catholic Charities. I was a case manager for pregnant women and newborns. Had just started working, coming from Illinois State. I think I had been home about a year, and I jumped in my Burgundy. I had a Chevy Lumina, so I'm crossing 119th and Halsted, and police pulled me over, and my tapes fall to the floor. That tell you how long ago it was. It was tape deck. I pick up my tapes off the floor, and as I'm coming back up, they got the Glock to my head, snatch me out the car.
We got Ed, snatch me out the car. Snatch me out the car.
Snatch me out the car.
That's the part we're at. Self, we're gonna do a. Can you hear us, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
At the part where snatch me out the car, that's where we lost you at.
Snatch me out the car, throwing me all against the door, take me to the back, throw me on the trunk. Probably jealous because I'm dap, got Tim's on, nice clothes, whatever, car looking good. But I mean, I'm a poor working guy from the South Side. These two crackers, man, they got the gun to my head, whatever. And one of them put his hand on my heart, tell his partner, like, this guy's heart is beating fast. And I chuckled, like, come on, man. He was like, what's that for? What that mean? I said, if I was on your side and you was on my side, I said, your heart would be beating fast too. I said, it's common sense, man. I said, it's adrenaline. I'm like, you got a gun to my head. And I was like, you ain't found nothing. Come on, man. I was like, I was like, man, I got a degree in criminal justice. I was like, I'm an educated dude. You know what I'm saying? A black man. I was like, but I ain't talking stuff to y'all. I'm just communicating with y'all. Y'all on the wrong things. Y'all out here snatching me up, but the people out here doing wrong, y'all ain't fucking with them. I know the game. So they get another call. They let me go and shit. I was pissed because I'm tired of having guns put to my head.
Man, for no reason.
Yeah. So I went to the Polish spot on 117th, across the street from Wendy's. Got me a couple of wings and some fries, grabbed me a pop, drove out to Olympia Fields, kicked it with my guy. I still did my thing. I was headed to Olympia Fields to see my guy. Him and his girl had just had their first son. So I just get off work. I got the dub in my Timberland booth. They couldn't even find the weed either. So, but it was all good. That was, 20 years ago, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
Yeah, and
That,
what we on now is we're gonna complain against those guys. Self love now. We out here. We stamping tyranny out.
Man,
it's crazy, man. So all that stuff they show on TV, George Floyd and all that, we live that every day, man.
Man.
Another thing funny, man, when I got lost one of my jobs because the school closed down. Middle of the year. I'm talking about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. This was like 2 years ago. I started driving Uber. School closed down. The principal was stealing money, messing stuff up. And we educators, man, this is a life to live, right?
Facts.
I started driving Uber, man, to support and keep doing what I had to do till I could get into another school. And, man, I swear, man, police, every time they see me, they right behind me, man. My tag's clean. I ain't got no tail light missing, no bulb out, none of that. But, man, hunkies, the cops see me. They own me, man. I'm talking about I'm on the Dan Ryan finna take this dude to Evanston. The police 3 lanes over, maybe about 5 cars behind me. They swooped over so fast. It's comical, T. I'm telling you, they swooped over something. And all I could do was look at my rearview mirror and laugh like, man, But actually, I got a book out called Rearview Mirror. It's called Rearview Mirror, Driving While Black in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And it's a series of essays over the course of a year with me and my daughter, us getting up every morning, me driving her to school and me driving to work, and our interaction with 4 separate situations with police officers, Chicago police officers.
Are these true interactions?
But it's
fiction or nonfiction?
It's fiction, but it's called some type of fiction because it's got true components in it.
Got you. Yeah.
It's a certain type of fiction because it has true components in it. But it was also, the names was changed to all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's live though, man. It's live. I'm gonna have it published soon.
That's what's
I was just working out the details.
What was you saying, Tori?
So that's what's up. It's called damn, I lost my train of thought.
Rearview Mirror, Driving While Black in Chicago.
Yeah, we're going to check that out because we always do a book, so we're going to have you recommend another one too. But right now, man, we need y'all to like, share, subscribe. We got some powerful stuff that's being dropped here by a very powerful brother, and we're going to take a short 5-minute respite. And when we come back, we're going to get into what he's all about. That's the education, problems he may see, myths. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to get into Mr. Pender's enrichment program as well. So, yeah, we're going to get into that. So, Self Love, you got anything?
Man, this is always expansive, and this is no different. And I'm so grateful for you to be in here, brother. We appreciate you. Gonna stretch our legs.
Yeah.
And do what we do.
Yeah, we see you in 6 minutes, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
people, we must band together.
What can you say about lifesavers?
To move out.
As soon as I seen the police move while Nick was talking is when I started gathering my family to come. You have citizens that are scared of you, who are you are paid to protect and serve.
Hey Dad, I have a new idea for Christmas gifts this year.
Great, Skylar, what's the idea?
Say Eureka Africa.
Eureka Africa. What's the idea?
Say Eureka Africa.
I just did. But what's the idea?
That's the idea, Dad. Say EurekaAfrica.com.
Oh, say EurekaAfrica.com.
Say EurekaAfrica.com, where you can get all of your awesome handmade African clothing and accessories for a great price.
Great, let's go order now. I just got hooked up by SayEurekaAfrica.com.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Welcome back to the Self Love Show. We're in the third part of our educator series with Patrick Pender, I guess. And it's a wonderful thing. It's mind expanding as usual. Is much needed information for the community. Can't wait to get back to the conversation because it's explosive. 9, come on back. Let's get this thirst fulfilled. Welcome back, brother. Much appreciation once again for doing this. I thank you mightily for your effort and what you brought to the table for our seeds and our nation.
You are definitely very welcome.
Facts. We got Miliak in the chat says praise and glory to tonight's guest putting in the real work to get measurable results. Kudos, black man. Yeah. Well said. Well said. Okay, so here's one that excites me. What's the purpose of education?
The purpose of education is for people to be able to take it and use it to do. People have to use knowledge to do. Simple as that, to do. And education is, everything has a cipher. everything has a script, and we have to begin to understand script. And through script, we can communicate, and through communicating, we can build. The first script and the most important script to human beings is the Sumerian clay tablets. And we're going to start with cuneiform. And then we're going to move to the Hebrew script, which was given to Abraham and actually even Adam by God. And if God gave us this script and this language, then we ought to pay attention to it. Fair. And I'm gonna make a quick reference as to who has been using our script, and that is Israel. And we're gonna let them use our script and continue to prosper while we chasing Reverend Chicken Wing and living backwards. Why people who have our knowledge are creating all kind of things.
You call him Reverend Chicken Wing. I call him Pastor Collection Plate. Yeah.
Script is very important. Language is very important. You can't learn anything without understanding the language. So as Americans, or being born in America, especially as a Black man, I had to actually master the English language. And from mastering the English language, it led me to knowing that I should really learn about my own self. But I asked the question, what Black language do we know of? You talk about Mandarin, you talk about Spanish, you talk about English, you talk about French, German. What Black language can we name? Swahili, Igbo, Togo. Yeah. We got to wake up, man. It's so many different African dialects and languages and knowledge out here, but we sitting here playing, stuck in one little space. Go learn one of those languages and imagine what is open up to you. Since we talking about learning, man, everybody need to get the book Conversations with Olga Tamelli, so you can learn about yourself and you can learn about your people and how smart they really were. I'm only leading people to a concept when I'm educating them in an American standard format. But when people come to me, not only do they learn how to master the American educational system or the societal ins and outs, they learn how to be free and how to expand themselves and become one with the world around them and the universe around them, taking knowledge and education to a whole nother place. See, we so confined to just thinking like Americans or thinking like Westerners, we trapped. But we'll see movies like Pirates of the Caribbean or Lords of the Rings or, Harry Potter. And they sitting here showing you your ancestral knowledge in these movies, and you think it's all make-believe. Disney been showing it to you for years, but you still, once again, chasing Reverend Chicken Wing. Y'all got to wake up, man. We got to wake up. Whenever I say y'all, I'm talking about me included. I'm not going to exclude myself from anything, because we all got to learn and grow. I got to keep striving. I got to keep seeking understanding. You're not just learning to learn. You're seeking understanding from a particular concept so that you can apply that understanding to an action of do that will bring you what you want in life. What do you want out of life? Do you even know what to want? We don't even know what to want. That's why I talked about what does it mean to learn. So the first thing I mentioned was script, and I took it back to this clay tablets, cuneiform. Those are symbols of communication. It's symbols of knowledge that go way beyond this planet. And we sitting here.
Well, I mean, you mentioned one thing you mentioned, bro, was and I saw it on a TED talk. I wanted to comment on real quick. You mentioned that the languages, like cuneiform or the different languages. I was watching this cat and was saying that one technique he learned to help calm his mind, and this is different forms of education, was that he learned some Sanskrit. You know, not a lot, but he just learned like a poem in Sanskrit. And yeah, whenever he felt himself getting anxious or angry or whatever, he would just start, you know. So yeah, there's something with these dialects and these different languages. But I wanted to ask you, because you're saying, you know, learn these languages. Like there's people who know like several of these languages, these African dialects, you know. Is there something there? I mean, you're just learning these languages just to learn, or you're saying it's going to open up something in your consciousness?
It's a lot there. So let me start with let me start with being organized so that people could really get the painted picture of what I'm saying so they can use it. So we're talking about foundation. We're talking about language. Self and myself couldn't communicate if we didn't understand this language. So now we're talking about characters. We're talking about symbols. And when Yahweh gave the Hebrews the script got power in it. The alphabet, the way the letters are shaped, it has power in it. So when you speak a word, you're speaking that power into existence. But if you don't have the foundation and the knowledge on how it works, and how to use the cipher to move things, then you just babbling, or you mostly speaking death or destruction into your existence, and that's what we witnessing. That's what we see.
And there are some books I'd venture to say. Well, we can't hear you. He doesn't know. Can you hear us now?
No. Along the lines. Or now you can, but along the lines of what he was saying, it's the frequency, the tones in our voices and the words that they hit places in your brain, that communication zone, and that can take you back to ancient times, and it connects in some of these languages.
Yeah, and even more layman's, you know, I could write a book right now in English, and this book will never be translated into Spanish, right? But there are a lot of books that people have written in English that have sold millions and millions of copies and has been translated. So by learning more languages, you can acquire more knowledge because you can read more books.
And you can compare the knowledge. So if you got the Hebrew script, you can compare it to the American script. You can compare it to Latin. You can compare it to German, and then you can see which story is which.
Correct.
Right.
And you can communicate with people too in their own tongue, and there's something powerful with that too.
They give you respect. They respect you, and then they willing to build with you. They start building the trust with you, and once somebody trusts you, they willing to help you economically. Now we can make money together. Now a lot of these problems we have is going away because people is respecting us that didn't respect us before. Now they willing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It builds a respect, and then I guess with respect comes trust. But I would say it builds respect before it builds trust. You know, trust going to be
most definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, they would definitely respect somebody who took the time to learn their language.
So this is why the students are struggling in the schools. When a child is at home and they're allowed to skip that comma and they don't know what the quotation marks mean, they're not using a strong emotion and feeling when they see an exclamation point, or they don't know that this interrogative question has this question mark on the end, and you're supposed to speak it in a certain tone, in a certain way, which is what Tori was speaking about. So all of the
nuance,
the comprehension and the nuance is lost. So now there's no connection when you read Moby Dick, or when you read Across 110th Street, whatever you read,
the Bible,
you don't get the Bible. You don't get the gist of it because you don't understand the script. You don't understand the character, and you're not abiding by the rules. So we got these children who don't even know how to follow rules, don't know the importance of following the rules.
Structure.
And then now you have a weak foundation, and you don't even know what it means to be illiterate. And now you have malbehavior, you frustrated, you put in certain categories in certain class. That's where all that stuff comes from. When all you got to do is take them back to the basics, take them back to the script, take them back to the understanding the language and being able to process words and thoughts, and it grows from there.
Okay. Now, if I'm a parent and I got a newborn baby. What percentage of that education do you say that I'm responsible for as opposed to? Okay. All right. We'll give it a second. All right. Just put, let me see. Can you hear yet? Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check.
I got you. I'm back.
Okay.
Parent and newborn baby.
Yeah. What percentage of the responsibility for a child's education is on me as a parent versus you as an educator?
Wow, man. When you said that word percentage, I got nervous when you said that word percentage. We're going to get back to that. But the percentage of it's a 100% on the parent. The beginning is. See, learning starts at home, because when the child is in the womb, it's hearing the conversations of the people around them. That's how they pick up the language. Just because a child is Spanish doesn't mean they're going to learn Spanish. Just because a child is Chinese doesn't mean they're going to learn Mandarin. If they're around somebody speaking English all the time, they're going to grow up speaking English. So the parent has to educate the child. And see, we got to stop hiding and stop lying to our children. We hide everything from our children and we lie to them because we think we're restricting them or we think we're protecting them. Yeah. Whereas the pink people, they explain everything to their children.
They expose them early. Yeah.
Exactly. See, so we backwards. And that's where understanding come in at. So it's up to the parent. The parent has to start playing jazz for that child when the child is in the womb, classical music, even hip hop. And once that child starts to hear that music or hear those words, then you begin to educate that child and explain. And from there, the child starts to develop their own concept of what it means to interpret. And then they go out and do their due diligence based on symbols and signs. Everything is symbols and signs.
Hey, but see, one thing, I hate to cut you off. My mom just gave you a big ups, bro. She texted me. She said that this man is good. Hold on, I want to get the exact word.
I just got chills, man.
Yeah, she said this man is good and honest, full of truth. Also, you were a small boy when you were in Lawndale. Something else. All right, something else. But yeah, that's what she said about you, bro. You know,
that's gonna bring me to tears of joy. Yeah. And the reason why I say tears of joy is because you got to continue to build with the good. Tears could be used for something good. See, it's a concept on how we interpret things. I could use that message that your mom just gave me for power. Whereas when somebody heard me say tears, they could have been thinking about something bad or sad. It's all about interpretation. And then when she said the word truth, man, I just got overwhelmed, because that's another thing. Black men are considered to be liars. Yeah. Nas said that in one of his raps. You know what I'm saying? See, we be sleeping on how important the music is, because there'd be a lot of little things that said, subtle things that's very meaningful. Very meaningful.
Well, music is almost as much culture as food. Music is almost yes.
Man, big ups to your mom for that, man. That's love. You said your mom, man. Just think about that, man.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. That's she's the lady that introduced me to Christ Universal Temple. We started going when it was by the Magic Kiss Lips. Remember, it was off
Prosperity, baby.
It was on like off 87th Street for a while, and then she built the new big church, and it was closer to where we had just moved. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably why we moved out there. You know what I mean?
And you know what though?
Yeah,
Johnny Coleman ain't dead. See, that's what people don't understand.
Oh, no, she stepped away.
No. Physically, she made her transition. But what's going on with what she established in the earth? What's going on with the temple? It's thriving.
Correct.
See, that's why I mentioned unity. People ain't. Your mom know what I'm talking about. I mentioned the school unity. I'm talking about Emma Curtis Hopkins on here right now. Emma Curtis Hopkins was a white woman who talked about Christian Science. She got her information from the Bible. But when I start talking about the Bible, people gonna think I'm a Christian. I ain't talking about Christianity or religion.
Scripture. You're talking about.
I'm talking about scripture and knowledge. Everything we talking about is in the Bible. Right. Prosperity. The millionaires of the Bible. Solomon, Boaz, Joseph. Man, they had money. They had a relationship with a higher power. They understood script. And that's what I'm trying to give these children. That's what we're trying to give our women. We want our women to be happy, man. We want to bring y'all roses. We want to take y'all out on elegant, extravagant evenings, giving y'all silk and making y'all heart sing, being gentle with y'all and showing y'all the power of a man. But we need help with that. We need to bring the family back together, and the black woman got to get her stuff together. I ain't scared to say it on here. That's part of the education. Actually, the mother is the first educator even before the father. I planted the seed, but my wife was my daughter's teacher before me. So no matter how good of an educator I am, I need that woman. I need that mother. I need that balance of that feminine energy.
Man.
And I'm speaking on that so strong because our families broke up, and without family, education is nothing. That's what education means. Education means family. Why are you going to learn these things? They're going to do these things because you want to have water, milk, juice, food, a nice tapered lawn. You want to live in a good community. You want to have a good life for yourself and for your family.
Man,
that's what education is. That's what learning is. That's what living is. So the word learn is really live. How are you living?
Man, that's facts.
That's what the word learn is. The word learn is really the word live. Live to grow. What does a plant, what does a seed do? It turns into a bud, and then it produces flowers, and it keeps growing. So that's what learning is. You're living.
And then
how are you living?
And then the seed sprouts and drops other seeds and spreads that information
through cells.
So
it's in the cells.
Yeah. Well, let's shift it up real quick. And this question I wrote without remembering, maybe subconscious. I remembered you came up in the Jets, but so thought experiment. I'm a parent. I live in the projects. And the school system is a pre-prison farm, quote unquote. I'm raising, multiple children. What's my best plan of action as far as their education plan?
I'm a single mom, and I have multiple children.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to figure out that
you in the Jets, and the school system is horrible. So what's the best I can do? Should I send the kids to that local school, the pre-prison farm, or should I, educate them?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to y'all.
Okay.
KRS-One got a new album out called Between the Protests, and one of his songs, he said he got his education for free. So you cannot limit yourself to where you can get an education from. If that mom is in an environment where the education, the school is not good, she needs to, number one, become part of the parent-teacher association with that school. She needs to go up to her kids' school. She needs to go to the classrooms and sit in there with her children. And then when she get home, she needs to read with them. And she needs to actually learn what they're learning and then help them better understand. Now, if she working and she can't do those things, then she got to find somebody that can help do that for her. So it take a village. And if you gonna make an excuse and say, well, you can't do that, then your kids gonna lack. They gonna miss out. So you gotta bring a village to the cipher to help you with trying to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish for your friends. You gotta have some bodies. You gotta have some boots on the ground. And if you can't find that community, then you're gonna struggle. I mean, of course, there's other solutions and other answers, but the best answer is she gotta be involved.
Love that answer, bro.
And you can't put economics and money before that. If you ain't got that part of your life in order, then that's another problem in and of itself. So then you're going to create a bigger problem by your children not being educated. So now we're talking about subduing your passions and how you're going to set up your life. If you making Budweiser money, you can't live a champagne lifestyle. So we got to start checking ourselves on that. And if we don't check ourselves on that, then our kids are going to continue to suffer. So you got to make a decision. It's a choice.
Sacrifice.
As a single mom, how did you get yourself in that situation of being a single mom or a single dad? Because I ain't going to be prejudiced on here.
Yeah, no, yeah, I never said mom.
You gotta no, I ain't talking about you.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
speaking.
phrased it. The question is always phrased single parent. So
No doubt. Yeah. But I'm saying
typically it's
you
the
gotta
mom.
You gotta think about how you got to the situation you in, and then you can't sulk about it. You gotta make better decisions. You gotta put forth a plan, whether it's inch by inch, day by day, year by year, whatever. You at some point in time you gotta start knocking something off that mountain in order to get to the top. It's up to you and how it better fits your cipher. I can't tell you what to do with your cipher, but I can give you the keys on what you need to do to get that cipher in order and move forward. But you got to spend some time with your children, bro.
Man,
I don't care
hey,
who you are.
well,
and if you're not, and you can't pay somebody else to spend some time with them, they gonna miss out.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a matter of want to. Self-love and I've been
Exactly.
talking about that.
Exactly.
You know, my mom, you know, we would, you know, it was just a matter of, you know, you had to do certain things. You had certain requirements to be allowed to do certain things. Oh, you can't hear. But well, self-love, you know what I mean? You had certain requirements, you know, to get certain privileges. You know. Yeah, you know, and so we had certain places we had to be. And I would also say if the environment is bad, I mean, in today's world, we have the technology. We'll buy our kid an iPhone or even an Obama phone, and it's got the location on it. Your kid could be at the library when they're out of school, and you can have your kid doing assignments that you assign to your kid. It's a matter of want to.
Period.
You know, and you can't allow your kid to come home and say none of the other parents are doing it. And, you know, it's just a matter of want to. I remember being frustrated with my mom saying, don't talk like that in my house.
Exactly.
The jive talk, you know, or I would be lazy, right? And not structure a sentence properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, come on, you know what I mean? You know, like, come on, I know how to structure it, right? I'm at home. And she'd be like, well, I don't know that. And, you know, you have to get into the practice of knowing how to say it right.
But look at what speaking correctly has brought you.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, everybody I know that know you makes reference to that.
Yeah.
So you could also thank mom for that because she knew all the way back then. And that's what wisdom is. And that's what also learning how to learn is. We as young people don't know much. They say the youth is wasted on the young. So that's why parents got to be stern. You're fighting a battle for them before they even know that they in a battle. And if you're not going to fight that fight for them or give them the chance and give them the opportunity, we're in trouble.
Well, I know you got something to say, Tori, and I want to hear it. That it reminds me of the parable. The old fish was swimming. It's two young fish swimming this way. And you got the old fish, and the old fish says to him, "Man, the water. Enjoy. Good day. Enjoy the water." And the two young fish just went by, and they're like, "What the hell is water?" Right. Right. So it's along those lines. What was you about to say, Self?
Hey, I was just saying this is great information. This for the community, man. We need to like, share, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Yes,
we
please.
got to subscribe,
man.
Hit the bell. We're
Man.
doing this organically, you know, the right way. Y'all know the drill. We're not paying for anything.
Facts.
Let's get it.
That's
we need
right.
to spread this information to our community. It's vastly important.
Facts. So why is the Board of Education befuddled that its students are bored of education? Right? I mean, think about that, bro. The board.
Because they're liars. Because they're liars.
And we're talking about language. The Board of Education.
Don't understand why they students are bored of education. Because
maybe
they're
they do.
liars. They do understand.
Yes.
And actually, one time George Bush came on board the ship and he said mission accomplished.
Wow.
And what that means is the agenda of the United States, the mission was accomplished, but the mission of the people wasn't accomplished. I've quite often saw in the Sun-Times or the Tribune or heard Mayor Daley say the test scores came up. Yeah, white kids at Walter Payton and at Glenbard North,
Yeah.
But not the ones at McKay, not the ones at Addicts, not the ones at Doolittle. So
and
the mission was accomplished.
Julia C. Lathrop. I don't know if you've heard
exactly.
Yeah,
Lathrop.
Always at the bottom, boy. It was at the bottom and proud, But go ahead, bro. Big ups to those.
Proud.
It's much better.
Learn behavior.
Yeah. Yes.
Learn behavior. Yeah. So mission was accomplished. When are we going to realize that their mission is accomplished and they're speaking to themselves in the paper? And we need to know what our mission is and who's going to speak to us. So what happened with education in Chicago and across the nation and actually across the world? See, we think it's just happening in Chicago, but it's actually happening across the world. It's happening in Paris. It's happening in England. It's happening in America. It's happening in a lot of places. But guess where? It ain't happening at. It ain't happening in Korea. It ain't happening in Japan. It is not happening in China. And we're going to speak about why not. But it's happening in America. We're falling behind. Education is not being addressed and it's not important. So in 1989, Mayor Daley took the Board of Education from Jackie Vaughn and made it a business. The City Hall took control of making decisions about the Board of Education and the educational process in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. So you got politicians and business people making decisions about educators and they took the educators out. They're making decisions about education. They took the educators out. And
here we go again. When he dropping jewels out there.
Yeah, it just
educators out.
When he took the educators out. Yeah, you were talking about the Board of Education and they went privatized it or something.
When they took the educators out.
So Daley took it from Jackie Vaughn and it became a business. And if the parents didn't do anything about that or stand up for it, it leads us to where we are now. See, the parents have to understand they have power too. They have what you call a vote. They got representatives. They got aldermen, alderwomen. They got all of these things, but they're not utilizing them. And the reason why they're not utilizing them is because they don't have an education. They don't know to utilize. And they don't know the steps that happen in sequence over time to get you in the situation that you're in. Like those 50 schools got closed. That stuff was, it was steps that was taken for that to happen. And nobody did anything about the steps. Like the things that are happening right now, we're not doing anything about the steps. And then when the bomb explode, we all mad and we picketing and rioting. You got to do the knowledge. We got to educate ourselves. We got to know who Jackie Vaughn was. We got to know who Marvin Collins was. We got to appreciate those educators like Self's mom. We got to know who they were and what they was giving us, but that's lost now. How can we get it back? Doing what I do. That's why I started my own school. I ain't waiting on Daley, Lori, Prisker, none of y'all.
None of that.
I ain't waiting on no money from nobody else, but the people that's on this call, if y'all want y'all children educated, y'all got to help me. Support it.
Yes.
Man.
Not so I could go on vacation, but so I could pay my light bill.
Recycle the black dollar. We got to invest in each other.
Yeah. Actually, so I can't go on vacation. We thinking prosperous. I ain't thinking low.
We lost him again.
Yeah. So, the platform is real and all of our guests come on here and they espouse it, principles that they have that are already in alignment.
I ain't talking about Hitler. I'm talking about Mr. Pender. I understood that it was important to teach the youth. Father Allah taught us that. The generation of Mill's mom teachers taught us that. Mill's mom's generation taught us that. How important education was. Lindblom taught us that. One of the strongest institutions in the city of Chicago. Man, they produce so many great people, and we don't be talking about that. We wait on Channel 7 to tell us that Lindblom was good when we should be telling the world ourselves. We wait on them to give us something to do, a red carpet event, when we could be doing that ourselves.
Facts.
Promoting ourselves, giving ourselves something to do, giving ourselves something to be happy about. That's what my students gonna have. Proms, they're gonna have events, they're gonna have banquets, they're gonna celebrate. is going to give them a reason to put on the tux and look good. That's what learning is. Learning to be yourself and learning to celebrate yourself. Learning to celebrate your history and your ancestors.
Man.
And you got to master their way so you can create your own way, because you let them take your way from you. So we got to unlearn and then learn all over again, but give ourselves something to do with what we've learned. If we don't do nothing with it, then we're going to just waste it. And then we lie down and die. So instead of lying down and die, stand up and live. Create something.
Biggest mistakes you see from poor students, poor performing students?
Illiterate. They can't read. They don't know what a comma is. They don't know what quotation marks is. They don't know what an exclamation point. I already said it. It's only one way to learn.
They don't understand what's going on, right?
Exactly. So it's like if we on here speaking pig Latin and nobody knows the combination. That's right. It's like wonk to them. Right. And then when they go from one subject to the next, that math is like wonk to them. Right. So now we really start getting into education, snowball. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, math is reading. Everybody on this call, you cannot do math if you can't tell me that the number at the top is an add-in. 1 + 1 = 2. The number at the top is an add-in.
True. He must have been about to drop some jewels. I don't know if he can see us. Yeah. Add in. Yeah. Whenever he's going to drop some jewels.
Add in.
Yeah.
Asian, Latino. So they're going to progress, but not the bottom rung. Nobody tells them that the number at the top of a subtraction problem is the menu in. Nobody tells them that the bottom number is the structure hand.
We had lost you. So the add in.
Right. So addition problem is the add-ins. Subtraction, the top number is the menu in. It's like looking at the menu at McDonald's and you're going to take something off that menu. The bottom number is the subtrahend. You're subtracting from the menu what you want. And then the answer is going to be your difference. The difference of what you took off that menu and took for yourself when you walked out with your chicken nuggets. But nobody's breaking that down for our children. It took a lot of years for me to learn those things and for me to know and understand what I didn't have so I can give to the students what they needed so they can have. So when you break down math like that for the kids, who gonna fail the test? Nobody. When they know the numbers, the menu and the subtrahend and the difference, when they see the problem, they're going to be able to read it and interpret it, and they're going to be able to give you an answer. And ain't nobody going to call them dumb or slow or LD or mentally retarded and all that other stuff go out the window. So they ain't upset, they ain't frowning, they ain't angry, and they ain't fighting no more.
Facts. Yeah.
So here, real quick before we move forward, I teach biology, chemistry, and physics. I teach high school students from the age of 14 to 21. Some of my students got more children than I do, and they coming to get a high school diploma. My first question of the year for 2020, 2021. My first question was, what does it mean to be literate? And one student
must be gems.
I guess he's gonna say one student knew what it meant to be literate. You know what it means to be literate. You have to be reading.
The question was,
go ahead.
He went right away.
Go ahead. We can hear you now.
The question was, what does it mean to be literate?
Right.
And out of 5 classes with multiple students, only one student was able to tell me that it means that you can read. Now, I purposely asked the question that way. Had I said, what does it mean to be illiterate? More students would have told me that means that you can't read.
Can't read, yeah.
Why would they have known that?
Because they be clowning each other.
Told that.
Say it again, Tori.
Because they've been told that.
Because they've heard the word
illiterate, right? And then they're literate. Wow, because they've never
in
front of it.
Yeah, they heard it, but they heard
now
it.
We learned.
Us clowning each other.
Now we're learning. So we just learned what it meant to learn. Now we're learning. They couldn't even take the prefix off and understand the root word because nobody teaches them that.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't know what it meant to be literate, but they knew what it meant to be illiterate, which means they're illiterate.
Yeah,
correct.
If you can't tell me that literate means to read, so that's a problem. And why aren't the teachers in the classrooms breaking those things down? Because they asses illiterate.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because they didn't go to do their homework instead of just doing what the colleges told them to do. They didn't go inside of themselves and be a real educator and learn how to apply this stuff. So
that brings me to the next question. Biggest mistake you see from educators?
They can't read. And they fake it. Symbols. You know, every periodical is written at a 5th grade level.
Mm-hmm.
Most teachers can read 3rd grade, but can't read up to that 5th grade. And you say, wow, our society is functioning only on a 5th grade periodical level of reading. Well, that's the foundation of our society. The upper echelons, they keep.
Here we go.
You understand why this is happening?
Me either.
You know, it's got to be on. What'd you say?
Upper echelon.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to hack his connection. Go ahead, bro.
Upper echelon.
The upper echelons.
Yeah.
They keep going up. They keep going up. So the less money you have, the less chance of you're going to run into the word caviar. But the more money you have, you're going to hear that at the dinner table. You're going to hear that when you're sitting in the living room. You're going to hear actuary.
There's another way you can hear it. If you're watching TV and you're paying attention, and then you say to yourself, there's a word I never heard, caviar. Keep hearing caviar. And then you go to someone and say, what does that mean? And then someone says, that means you should look it up in a dictionary.
You said the key word, though.
That is how you learn. You pay
attention. Said, there you go. There you go.
You read. If you're reading, you'll see a word that says caviar, and then you'll say to yourself, oh, well, what does that mean? I can't read further until I know what this means. And that's to me, that's learning. Learning is a journey.
Yes, it is. But you said pay attention.
Correct.
You said pay attention, which means focus. And that went out with the bathwater because I got so much sugar in me, I can't sit still, which points to health. So actually learning starts with health. So if you're not healthy, it's harder for you to learn because it's so many things blocking the receptors for you to comprehend and store.
Yeah, if you're not drinking enough water, it affects your brain, your thinking. But go ahead.
Physically healthy and then mentally healthy, and our students are in a bad place when it comes to those things, and that's what also restricts the learning. So the parents have to do a better job of educating themselves on giving their children more water, less plastics. Plastics are killing us. Drinking out of plastic bottles, plastic containers. Go to the doctor. Your doctor will tell you got so much plastic in you. So it's plastic and sugar, and then you got meat. It sit on you. So diet is the first thing that you can change to help your child be a better learner. Diet, and then script. Your children got to be stronger with the alphabet, words, and then symbols. And once they get the symbols down, their comprehension, it's not about comprehension yet. It's about fluency. So we're not asking children to read for comprehension. We're asking them to read for fluency. Very key point in the primary grades. When I taught 2nd grade, it was revealed to me that fluency is so important. And I learned this from older, more experienced teachers, more passionate teachers, more understanding teachers. Fluency is very important, even for adults. So once you get your fluency down, the comprehension comes. Everybody always pumping comprehension. They want the child to comprehend. Well, the child won't be able to comprehend if the fluency is not there. That flow, and that flow brings the togetherness. It brings the joy of reading. It brings the revelation of reading. It brings understanding, and that's where the comprehension comes from. So comprehension is not taught; it's a journey, like he said. So through that journey, it borns understanding, and it keeps growing and growing and growing from there. But in order for you to have that, you got to have the foundation, and that starts from script and fluency.
Okay. All right. Well,
and most teachers don't know that, because it's American education is broken up into preschool, daycare, preschool, primary, elementary, middle, and then high school. So you got so many different types of teachers that can't teach a certain discipline, and then they moving them around in all of these places, and then they befuddled and messing up. Whereas I taught myself how to teach on all of those different levels. And that's what I'm going to prepare the next generation of teachers to do, to be able to multitask on different levels and be able to help these students and children.
The foundation is very important. The early years, you got to get them early, and you got to try to impart upon mothers that they are the first educator, and they have to put in some work with it, even if they're not. You said something interesting. You was like that the mothers might need to sit in the classroom and come in and understand what their child is hearing and being taught, so that they could impart it on them so they would get it better. That was a huge understanding that I got from that. And he was like, if they can't, then you got to have somebody that does. And that's very important. The early years, when the children are in a theta state,
yes,
when they're just really in where they can absorb all the information, cannot waste that time. That time has to be. You got to pour all you can in.
You all ever heard of Pippi Longstocking?
Yeah.
She's from Sweden. That movie and that concept is from Sweden. And
I read a few of the books when I was a kid growing up.
Exactly.
My big sister would have them in the house, so I read, man.
Read everything, sure.
Yeah.
So the message that they were sending with that book and with that story is that you got to let a child explore. You got to let them be a tumbleweed. You got to let them be wild, but within reason. It's like organized chaos, which in some aspects people would say is an oxymoron, but it's not. Okay, you got to let them run wild, but then you confine them when you know best as an adult. And that releases a lot of the child having fears. That allows the child to grow and to explore and to express themselves. And then they grow up to be more solid human beings. That happens a lot in foreign countries. Even in Asian countries like Korea and China, even though it's not talked about.
Well, there we go. There we go. Hold on. There we go.
Wrong countries.
Yeah, talking about the Koreans and Asian countries.
Yeah, Korean, China.
And watch how when we do that, we will.
We got to go back to Asian
Koreans,
countries,
Asian and
Korea
Korean
and China.
Yeah, America would tell you that they depots and dictators, but they children actually have more freedoms than ours do to express themselves and to grow and to be happy. And when we accept that and allow our children to have more say and make more mistakes and be more free, like in the Jewish community, I think at 12 years old, at their bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah, they're considered now welcome into the adult circle.
Right.
Now that don't mean they're gonna go around cursing out grandma, but they respect it.
Some of them do.
Yeah, some of them do, because that's who they are. But when we implement that in our circle with our children, we don't expect our children to use it for bad. Going back to
it all comes down to the men in the picture.
There you go. There you go. That's why I had to speak on what I spoke on earlier. I'm glad you said that.
That's what it comes down to. So now we're coming up on the program, but I want to ask you: there's a shortage of African American males in the education industry. Can you speak on that?
Man, because it's suicide for a black man to try to walk into a classroom, because everything is designed for him not to.
Oh my goodness. You can't be.
Jules,
Come
Jules,
on.
come
Every
on,
time I
man.
be getting wrapped
This
up
is-
in it. You know what I mean? Small ups to the spooks tonight.
Something. They're gonna walk away with confidence. They're gonna walk away with shit. That's just who we are, without even really being taught how to be a teacher. Just the average Ray on the street. He gonna deliver it for them too. They're gonna learn from even just the way he walked. Y'all saw how Obama walked. Don't nobody talk about no other president the way he walked but Obama. So that's what they're afraid of a black man being able to give without even opening his mouth. But allow one like me to open their mouth and get started. That's why they trying to do the same thing that Herod did. They trying to stop the next Messiah from coming to teach the people. That's why y'all ain't seen me on no podcast. But I don't care no more. I didn't write books. I didn't put out concepts. I didn't put out thoughts because I didn't want the enemy to know what we was doing. I just did it underground all these years, and I had 10 students from one class graduate from various colleges in 2020 alone. So it's a lot of success out there, and we ain't got to broadcast and tell everybody. We just got to keep doing what we doing. But if anybody do want to know, we take donations. We willing to partner. We willing to petition for corporate sponsorship, all of that. But one thing we not gonna do is we not gonna sell out, and we not gonna let our foundation become weak. It's all about the children and all about their growth.
And then so now we're gonna shift into that. But one last thing, since you mentioned the children, what advice would you give to a child that may be contemplating and could be that next Mahdi, that next Messiah, that next, but then they're saying, well, I'm a black male and I don't want to deal with that. So how should they move? So what would you say? See one thing, and that's the question, bro, but let me just add the where this is coming from. We our nation, our black nation, and one of our guests brought this up. She's in the movie American Skin, Milana. I feel like a lot of us are educating from a very old paradigm, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's foundational stuff that has been how we've been educating since Egypt and pre-Egypt. Like to me, the point of mathematics was for justice, for fairness. That was the point. So we can learn how to divide stuff up and, just be fair. And then it went off into the abyss. But so that's why I asked you the question, because, okay, so it used to be, okay, if you're going to be a teacher, you go to college and then you get your teaching certificate and you go work for a school or university. So is that what you would suggest? So how would you, what would you tell a kid that's interested? Like what's the future of it? Education.
The first thing that I would tell that child and the child's parents and the community and the people that's on this call, there's a certain thing called protection, and protection comes from prayers. And I'm not talking about just sit down, wailing and screaming and hollering. I'm talking about traditional African prayers, traditional African religion. I'm talking about understanding the knowledge of your ancestors and protecting yourself. Because in the world we live in, it's a tangible physical world, and it's a real world, and it's dangerous out here. And in order for you to have a mantle to stand on, you need protection. So once you get that protection, you could deal with Hollywood. You could deal with the Illuminati. You could deal with a fast moving life. Because if you are moving a shaker and you try to help others and you connected to the free world, you're going to be tested. And with those tests, you need protection. And the way you get your protection is you learn about the 7 African powers. You learn about libations. You learn about power. And power comes in the form of prayer. It comes in the form of script. It comes in the form of knowledge. It comes in the form of history. It comes in the form of study. So you need to get you a Bible. You need to get you a Quran. You need to get books that's going to give you the knowledge that God gave to us. And then you start applying and practicing that knowledge. And then from that point, you go. It's your choice whether you want to go to a college or university and do it that way, or whether you want to do it both ways, or whether you want to go to the street and learn from the people. I did it both ways. I went and got the knowledge from the street and from experiences growing up, and then I went to get it from the colleges and the universities. And then I didn't go back to get it from the colleges and universities, because once I got my bachelor's degree, I realized that, yeah, having a master's and a PhD would be financial.
Of course.
PhD.
Yeah, you're digging into
masters.
Those. You're digging into those
masters and PhD.
You're digging into the Triple K's coiffers, down in those colleges. Can you
masters and PhD.
I can hear you. Okay. I can hear you.
And PhD.
Instead of going to get that PhD and paying student loans and telling Duke and the University of Chicago and Yale that I needed you, I went into Ida B. Wells. I went into the Robert Taylor. I went into Oak Hill Gardens, Roseland. I went into people's homes. I learned about their plight. I learned about their struggle. I learned about their ignorance. I learned about their victories. I learned about percentages. At Illinois State, over a 4-year period, African Americans graduated at an 8% rate over 4 years. African American males was at a 4% rate over a 4-year period, and over a 5-year period, it jumped to 12%. I said all that to say, a lot of our people can't read. A lot of our children are in trouble.
Yeah.
A high percent of them, and a high percent of the schools are low performing, and that's because the teachers don't know how to teach, because the institutions are not educating them to learn how to teach.
They just passing the kids on too. It ain't like they're addressing the issues or problems when they should not go to the next grade. You know what I mean? There's a serious issue there, but it's only a couple of times where you can fail in this public CPS public situation. What I'm, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, how do you not address, the elephant in the room, and then you expect them to go to the next grade? And what do they expect to happen?
They don't expect the parents of these children to know anything or to say anything. If that was a Jewish community, the parents in the whole community would come out. The grandparents, the uncles, the aunts. If it was Asian, everybody gonna come out and fight for the right of they offspring and their young people. We're the only ones that don't go challenge these systems to say y'all treating our children wrong and we deserve and want better. But not only saying that we deserve and want better, but giving them what we want.
And more jewels.
I mean, facts. We just sit around and say, why don't somebody do something? We just sit around and not do nothing.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yes. All the time. All right, now you can hear.
Facts. We know more about love and hip hop and the big game, and we'll do all of that. Go to the club, these are hard facts, but how many people know the alderman's phone number?
Exactly. Or know they alderman.
Right.
Know he is.
Exactly. But it's funny. My mom was telling me, like, if you like what you just said, knowing your alderman, more importantly, your alderman should know you. More importantly, your alderman should know you, and you don't have to be a big donator. You don't have to be rich. You could stop by your alderman's office twice a week. You know what I mean? And your alderman would know you. Bring in some Harold's chicken. You'd be surprised what kind of doors that can open for you.
It's absolutely one of your greatest votes. I know you're flipping through some notes, but it's flat.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. But
So-
it's one of your greatest votes, because that's some person like Self said that you can just walk up and go right into his face and have
Man.
a conversation, a meeting with. I mean,
just
he
said
has to have an office in your neighborhood, and that's where we're gonna start with.
That's right. Pushing the Self Love Nation out to the Alderman's office.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, though, because now we want to shift into, because, we haven't plugged them in a minute. This is Mr. Patrick Pender, and 25-year career educator in some of the quote-unquote darkest places in Chicago, but I'm sure he'll tell you those are the lightest places, and he's found some of the biggest joy
most
there.
beautiful.
Yes, and the realest people. And the most love, because I've been in some of the most quote unquote nice cities, and it's just so miserable. So anyway, 2016 National Teacher of the Year, 2016 and 2020 Teacher of the Year. Yo on those accomplishments, Noop.
Amazing.
I don't feel guilty for some of those things we may or may not have done to you back in the day when you were joining this great clan. But we got Patrick Pender and
allegedly.
Yeah, may or may not, allegedly. Yeah. So he's the founder, operator of Mr. Pender's Enrichment Program, and that's Saturday and Sunday program. So there's really no excuse for your children not to get involved. He's figured something out where they're improving NWEA, ACT, SAT scores, and they can improve your child's standardized test results. So that's where we're moving into. So if you can just go ahead and break down your program.
So my program is called Mr. Pender's Enrichment Program Saturday School. It meets on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The children register for monthly services. So if you are registered, that means you will make a payment for the entire month. That encompasses 4 Saturdays, and you are allowed to be in the venue from 10 until 2. There's always a one-on-one session for every student that comes on Saturday. There's a 40-minute reading initial when you first walk in. Every student has to read for 40 straight minutes of fluency, regardless of whether you are primary or college. Everybody's required to read for 40 straight minutes. That establishes the fluency. And from there, we move to comprehension. We read renowned type books like Animal Farm. We talk about history. We talk about current events. We talk about language. We talk about the ability to speak and the ability to understand when it's spoken to. We do physical activities, Aikido, training the body and the mind, also allowing the children to be able to defend themselves in case of attack. We do yoga to calm the spirit, to tame the spirit, and to produce the ability to fight off evil with good, based on vibrations and thoughts. We sing a lot. We sing nursery rhymes. We sing words. Tory, wordsmith, Mills. We will take those words and turn them into songs, because that song, that rhythm, that vibration, it develops a high ability to remember, to retain, and also to regurgitate and reproduce. Also, it's an easy way of practice. Instead of it being a chore to read, the singing allows for a flow and for happiness. So the retention is high. We do a lot of cutting. We do a lot of pasting, because I want them to have enriched and improved motor skills. And I don't care how young you are, we put a pair of scissors in your hand. And we do we rake leaves, we make snowmen, we go outside in the backyard, we ride bikes, we play basketball, we do every and anything that a child needs to be doing. We get outdoors, we go to the library, we go on field trips, we go swimming. 80% of Black children in the city of Chicago cannot swim. 80%. We go to enriched environments, the Museum of Contemporary Art, the museum, the big museum with the lions in front of it. We visit all that stuff.
Chicago Art Museum.
Chicago Art Museum, the DuSable Museum. We go to the hill over by Robichaud and take our sleds to slide down that, because we need to be exposed to any and everything that there is to be exposed to. We ride public transportation, the L and the bus, so we can learn about north, east, west, and south directions. North, east, west, and south spells news.
Yeah.
And that's where all of the information from those different directions coming in give you the instruction and the knowledge, the word of what's going on in the world. So all of these different concepts and tactics and thoughts and ideas are put together, and it is explained to the child. It is explained to the student, but then they also have to come back and explain it. Got to stand up and speak. I don't care how young or how inexperienced, everybody has to speak in the circle, and everybody is respected.
Well, they say the best way to learn is by teaching. So learning technique, and also through experiencing things. Now you were talking about the singing and things. I remember at Ray School, bro, we had to learn the preamble and all of that stuff. Yeah, so I made a song out, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice to ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense.
You know what? They have to learn all of that.
I would have never written on that to this day if I didn't make that little country rock song out of it. And like
they have to learn all of that. They have to be able to read a map. They have to know longitude, latitude. They have to know coordinates. And I don't care how young you are, we introduce everything to you. They have to know certain countries. They got to know hemispheres. They have to know quadrants. They know that in Europe they read from left to right. They drive from left to right. They understand the left side of the brain, the right side of the brain. We're not playing over here. We're not, and we don't care how young you are. You can say hemisphere. There's no restrictions over here.
Right.
None. See, American education is restricting you. It got you at a certain age, and you got to do this and do that. Man, I got a 5-year-old reading at a 9th grade level right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he embarrassing some of these 6th graders over here. So when the 6th graders saw the 5th grader reading Macbeth, they like, oh, we got to get on our game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or reading, their eyes are watching God. We're not playing.
Oh, man. Oh, I love that book.
We're not playing.
Well, we're
having fun too.
We got a question in the chat for you. Is the curriculum today set up different from 30 years ago with how kids are taught today?
Of course. The curriculum today is designed to dumb down. The curriculum today can't even compare to the curriculum from 30 years ago or even from 100 years ago. But also, curriculum today is
oh boy. Can't hear you, bro. Nope, hold on 1 second. Mic check. Can you hear me? Mic check. 1, 2. Okay, we got you.
Yeah, the curriculum today is that there is no curriculum. The curriculum 30 years ago was a real curriculum. The curriculum 100 years ago was a real curriculum. I gave my students the 8th grade English test from 1875. It was harder than any English test I've ever taken in my life.
Wow.
So When we think we getting smarter, we don't even compare to the weight and the metal that they carry. See, that's the problem with humans, man. We don't want to give nobody no respect. Just because LeBron James doing what he doing don't mean that Wilt didn't do what he did. The Big Dipper.
Well, you know, I use that logic. You know, when somebody tells me that LeBron is better than Jordan, then I say, you know, just by the logic of eugenics or, you know, DNA over time. And I say, well, then if that's the case, any 8th grade science kid who can use a computer is smarter than Albert Einstein. I mean,
exactly.
using your
wow, he froze up. And with the whole example, it's crazy because we have developed a situation where they think the old is stupid and lame, but that same test that you're talking about, I looked at that test too, and I had already had a college degree, you know, and I looked at that test and I was like,
that test was hard as hell.
I was like,
they were brilliant back then. I'm talking about Little House on the Prairie English test.
Yes,
and they spent way more time, and they were intricately involved in the script and the language. See,
and we were talking about this too. That my mom started in a school like that, and everybody was in there, and the teacher taught to everybody. She catered to situations, but the everybody advanced from hearing everybody else's lessons. It was all, you know, like, because they all grew up. They learned their lessons.
And you said they just give you tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's what right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful because that's allowing the mind to grow, to think. It's allowed them to do instead of you doing for them or you program.
Yes. It's teaching you. Yes. Teaching you how to learn. Yes.
And when I taught second grade, when I taught second, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
When you taught second grade?
Yeah.
I have 5 reading circles. No, I'm sorry. I have 5 circles of learning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had my classroom was set up with 5 circles, and all of the students would move from one circle to the next, and every circle had a different concept of learning. And then the last circle, they would have to come to me. So what that meant was they were learning on their own, and they was teaching each other. They was having so much fun. They was exploring. They was growing. They was able to move, and they was able to grasp what each cipher was asking them to do. And because I wasn't saying everything and doing everything, their comprehension, their interpretation, their ability to speak, their ability
speak. Ability to speak. Yeah, man. So he's describing like the schools I went to a great degree.
There we go.
The early schools that I went to.
He's also describing the mystery schools, but go ahead.
Yeah, the early schools that I went to, like, I had every student had their own sheet of learning.
Mm-hmm.
Period. They didn't tell you how to do it, how to get it done. You just needed to get it done. If you needed some help, you could ask someone. And man, it was amazing, and it just builds on right what you were speaking on.
In this world we live in, you can't. They don't want you to think. There's the movie They Live tell you cannot think for yourself, and that's what we have right now.
Period. And real talk. And that was a documentary, by the way.
Yeah.
Any how has technology, are you using that in alignment with your program?
Of course, because computers is the future. So everything that is cutting edge, everything that is going to be important, everything that's going to allow us to continue to have a platform to communicate, to learn, to share, we're going to tap into it. We have the virtual component. We have the tools to apply the virtual component at a high level. We have Study Island, we have Admentum, we have Play-Doh, we have Zoom. We got Kahoot. So art. We have a plethora of everything to be able to give our students a manual, digital, virtual, academic superior experience.
Okay. After experience, yeah. He went out.
Looked like he caught.
Yeah, but he can't hear. He can't hear us. So.
No.
You hear us now?
No.
All right, we got you now.
Yeah. Can you got the one thing that I do challenge and that I do point out is that the virtual learning is hard on the body, psychologically and physically, as far as the eyes, as far as the sinuses, and as far as the sitting still, the spine and things like that, and then just the whole concept of the Jetsons era. So,
but there's ergonomic desks and there's things you can do to avoid that. You know, the kids just have to be like setting an alarm and standing up and stretching out every now and then. You just got to be cognizant of it. Went out.
Wow,
that's something.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, bro. Any family quotes, scriptures, words of wisdom, anything ancestral or something in the scriptures that you get that you hang your hat on that you'd like to share?
I'm gonna keep talking about protection. It's very important for us as children of God, children of the earth.
Oh boy, I mean, it's just. I would say it's my internet, but I'm getting you, so it's got to be on his end.
No, it's 100%. We've never experienced this.
Yeah.
Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, Delbert Blair.
Bro, I'm sorry to stop you, man, but you just rolled some names right there. You need to go back to the beginning because as soon as you started, it cut out.
Okay, Ivan Van Sertima. We need to look up Ivan Van Sertima. Delbert Blair, Bobby Hemmett, Phil Valentine, John Heinrich Clark. There's one person also in particular, Patrice Malidoma Somé, Of Water and the Spirit, and African Rituals. Two serious, very important books that every Black person in America should read. And the reason why you should read that is so you can learn about your ancestral knowledge and protection. See, Biggie and Tupac did have protection. Amy Winehouse did have protection. And others don't have protection, but they still being dogged out. If you want to be able to do what you do and do it for a long time, you got to protect yourself. And I'm telling y'all, it's a way to go get that protection. I can't tell you everything. Some of it you just got to find out and learn for yourself. But I'll tell you that the 7 African powers, your ancestral knowledge, and those people that I mentioned, if you go start studying them and learning about their concepts and their works, it will lead you to the right place.
Did you say something?
We have to protect ourselves.
Did you say something about a book called Water Spirits or something?
Of Water and the Spirits.
Sounds similar to one I read.
Patrice Malidoma Somé. And also Ritual. It's called just simply Ritual by Patrice Malidoma Somé. And there's going to be some amazing things that happen in your life when you get a hold of this information, because
Of course.
There it goes.
Of course. Of course. Mic check 1, 2.
I'll let you know. There
I'm back.
All right. Mic check. We got you.
I was talking about transformation.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
The transformation is not just from you reading a book, but from you applying the concepts of your ancestors, man. Y'all have no idea the power that your ancestors have and the knowledge that they have. All I'm asking y'all.
And there he goes again.
Yeah, man.
This is crazy, man.
You got.
I'm not understanding this.
It's an internet connection.
I can hear you all now.
All right.
All right. So go ahead, bro. Pick up where you was at.
Yeah, I was saying another good book was Conversations with Okotomeli and the Pale Fox.
Okay.
And when I make these suggestions, I suggest that people take their time with it. There's no rush to learning. You really got to let it get into your cells, let it get into your DNA, let it get into your bones, and then your spirit will let you know what decision to make and what to do with it and where to go.
All right, yeah, because I heard you say it's more than just reading it; it's applying the knowledge from the ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we got some quick hits, bro. Have you ever seen a UFO?
Of course, and I could call them into existence too. You are those that ain't nothing but your ancestors. That and actually you in the future.
Have you ever seen an alien?
Well, no, I haven't.
Have you ever seen anything supernatural?
I have. And that's what I was talking about when I was saying study your ancestral knowledge.
Did man walk on the moon during the Apollo program?
Of course not. They said Daytona Beach, Freaknik somewhere.
Is there a God?
Of course. And God is both man and spirit. Man, it was spirit before it decided to bring itself into a physical existence. So if you don't have God, you don't have nothing. And all of those people out there that say God ain't real, you'll see. This ain't the only thing that exists. You're going to have to go to the other side.
All right. Recommend your favorite black restaurant or one that you loved in Chicago.
Gladys's, but it don't exist no more. So I'm going to go with Priscilla's or Sabrina's.
I think I've had Priscilla's, not so sure about
and I'm going to say this. If you eat the soul food, drink water with it instead of a Pepsi.
Man. Yeah.
You can have one, but don't have both. You can have one, but don't have both. Give yourself a little bit of a break.
Yeah, and check out one of the previous Self Love to the Nation. One of our previous episodes was on water, alkaline water. All right. So you've recommended several books. We normally say recommend a book. So those books that you've recommended, are you recommending which one particularly would you want the nation to walk away with and read?
Ritual by Patrice Malidoma Somé.
All right.
But also when you mentioned aliens,
yes.
If people want references for information on that, Credo Mutwa.
Yes.
So and that's also ancestral.
He sounds Creole.
South
African shaman. Nothing to play with. I mean, serious power and knowledge.
Okay. Anything that we didn't go over today, anything that you wanted to discuss, you know, right now we're done with all my questions. So anything now is just conversation time.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the letter Y. And the reason why I'm gonna start off with the letter Y is because Y is the most important thing in the universe. The letter Y actually represents a man's penis, the black man's penis. And that's the answer to every question that exists in the universe. That's the reason why the Y created itself. And that's the reason why it's a chromosome. So everything comes from that Y. So the Y is in the shape of a man's genitalia with his staff, and then the one testicle being the X, and then the other testicle being a Y. So the man has the man, woman, and child inside of him. And when he releases that Y, he gives a son, which is going to be him being reincarnated all over again. When he releases that X, he creates his daughter, which is his female energy and his female self. And I'm saying this because everybody needs to know that everything comes from that. Mm-hmm. Everything comes from that Y chromosome. In the darkness was that Y chromosome. That Y chromosome was a penis. And it developed a body, and then it said, I'm God, and then it created everything else. So if you want to understand the world you live in, you got to start with organisms. You got to start with substance. But before it became a physical manifestation, it existed as Y. Why does God exist? Because. So when people ask why, the answer to that question is in and of itself. That is it. It is. And whatever is in front of you, you make sure you look, listen, and observe, and then dissect it. So whatever it is can be what it is. And then if it ain't, then you say what it ain't. So now we're talking about interpretation. Now we're talking about learning. Now we're talking about what it means to learn. And what it means to learn is you got to learn yourself first. And self, everything comes from that Y, including the X. So you got the Y, and then you got the X, which was the woman being added out of the rear. So if it was the Y there, and then God took that other piece and added it to make woman, now you can see the X. So these two chromosomes give us our physical existence. And from that, everything is a thought. So from that physical existence, the thoughts are building. So where we going to go next with the thought? So the next thought is you got to understand the spirit of the Y, which produced the body of the Y, the flesh of the Y. So now we got spirit, and that spirit spoke a word. We got word, now we got flesh, now we got symbols, now we got alphabet, now we got interpretation. And we got interpretation going from Hebrew, which is the words and the script and the letters that God gave to humans. And we went from Hebrew to Christian to Islam. So the three main religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, has defined everything that we know and understand in our world over the last maybe 3,000 years. And if you don't know anything about those things, you're in trouble. So going from those three things, we go into education. Well, what's important about education? The parts of speech and the orders of operation. And we're going to end it right there. Parts of speech. So the parts of speech could refer to any language. Whatever language you speak in, you need to understand the parts of it so you can interpret and communicate. And then once you understand that, you understand the order of operations, and that's dealing with all science and all math. And if you can understand how things operate and the order in which it operates, understanding is at your fingertips. And Elijah Muhammad told Farad Muhammad, he said, I'm seeking what it means to understand. So I'm going to understand what it means to understand. And when you get to that level, you just start demonstrating. Now, I understand that all I got to do is help children and people around me process symbols, sounds, and actions. And if we could do that at a high level and implement the culture into it, nothing can stop us. But you must understand that why. And nobody can understand it for you.
Yeah.
It's just something you got to do on your own, just like the Matrix. If you can't see it for yourself, then you ain't going to never see it. So everybody got to do their own work so that their own revelation will come from their own connection of the gold dust and the ether. And then you build that why, and then it becomes what it is. So there is no why. Only do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when we spoke about a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the like stuff that's going on in our community. How can we rebuild a nation? And you were saying reconnecting with our ancestors, bro. And then you kind of mentioned it earlier today, and I guess so. Can you kind of break down what that means? Because you said something that my mom had said something a while back to me too. So go ahead. What do you mean by that? I don't think he can hear us. Hold on, we can't hear you. All right, can you hear me now? Yeah.
You was talking about reconnecting with our ancestors.
Yes. So what's the process, and or what do you mean by that? Because you're saying the problem is our disconnect from our ancestors. So
okay, I'm finna break it down, and I'm gonna get serious, and I'm gonna get deep, but I'm gonna also use our fraternity. Is that cool?
Hey, do your thing. If you got the guys looking for you, they ain't looking for me. Hey, but yeah, do you? I don't think he can hear me.
But yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, well, Tori said it's cool, so it's on you and Tori. So go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, we got you.
Okay, so I said I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna start off by using the letter A, right? So okay. I'm asking a question to people that's here. What is the letter A?
Pyramid.
Okay. Anybody else?
I mean, if I had to say a hill, a mountain, the letter
A. The letter A is the head of a ox.
Oh, okay.
It's the head, oxen's head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so if you point the point down, the other two horns point up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the letter A represents strength, it represents work, and a few other attributes. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because all symbols have a concept to go along with it.
Every single one.
And our fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi, I've done some research on it, and I understand that our founders was using some information to generate prosperity. That letter K is the symbol of prosperity in the Hebrew script. So I took the Greek form letters and wrote them in Hebrew.
Mm.
And then I took the power not only from the Greek, but also from the Hebrew.
Correct. You looked at it, you broke it down from both languages.
Right. But so when the founders put our letters together, they started with that K. And if you look at the number of the K and the spirit of the K and what it represents, it will give you a revelation of what Kappa Alpha Psi was all about. And that's talking about prosperity, even with the colors they use. Mm. So it's not just that we learning about the Greeks. Mm-hmm. It was pointing us to a direction of a higher understanding of our ancestors and what these letters and symbols represent, and how when we use them and when we adorn them and when we call on them and matriculate it, it sends something back to us. So I'm sure these two brothers that's on this call understand that wearing and representing those letters gave us power, gave us prosperity, gave us happiness. Yeah. So we got to take that and teach it and take it to another level. And I'm not talking about from a Greek point of view. I'm talking about from an ancestral point of view, from a metaphysics point of view, taking it from the physical to the spiritual and outside the spiritual, and then bringing it back to the physical so we could benefit. So I'm saying all that to say we didn't come in contact with these symbols and with this knowledge and with this information by mistake, but we got to learn it and use it to the high level of what it represents.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's knowledge,
So,
bro.
So I'm saying every letter has power, but we got to learn it, and then we got to implement it and apply it. And you know, it's coded, so we dealing with the breaking down those ciphers now. But I learned some very powerful things about our organization and how it actually transcends to academics and prosperity and ancestors in Africa and all of that. So I mean, of course, we're gonna build on that in the future, but it's amazing, man. It was a lot more to it than what we know. It's amazing.
Yeah, there always is. I'll tell you that much. There always is, and I appreciate you sharing that. We got the 9 and 9, so this is a Noah's Ark ink blotch test. So we're gonna give you a pair of things and just blurt out whichever one you believe is, you know, that you want to blurt out, and you can pass as an answer, but you know, it's got to be quick though, no thinking. Well, it's hard to tell an educator no thinking. This is Zinc blocks. So here we go. Tupac, B.I.G.
Martyrs.
No, you're just gonna choose which one that you like the most, pretty much.
Okay, go ahead, go again.
So Tupac, B.I.G.
I gotta go with Pop.
Okay, Abe Lincoln, Barack Obama.
I gotta go with Lincoln.
Swisher Sweets, Backwoods.
Backwoods.
Newport's, e-cigarette.
Newport.
Beyonce, Kim K.
Beyonce.
Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain.
I gotta go with Mike.
JFK, Harold Washington.
I gotta go with Harold.
Jean Dupont du Sable, Christopher Columbus.
Du Sable.
Malcolm X, MLK.
Malcolm.
Uncle Remus, Harold's Chicken.
Harold's.
Hennessy, Remy Martin.
Henny.
Grey Goose, Ciroc.
Ciroc.
Martin, or Dave Chappelle.
Oh, that's a tough one, but I gotta go with Dave Chappelle, baby. I gotta go with Chappelle show.
George Zimmerman or Derek Chauvin.
Refresh my memory with the second dude.
Chauvin is the one who needed
George.
Down,
oh. Can I just shoot him?
You can pass.
Can I just choke them both?
Yeah, or you can pass.
Oh, pass on that one.
All right, I got one. Somebody with kids. R. Kells, Bill Cosby.
I gotta go with Bill. He educated.
Right.
He taught the baby. I gotta go with Bill.
And he wrote checks, and he wrote checks for education too, man.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He was all about education, regardless of what else he was about.
Well, he got too uppity. He was trying to buy NBC. You know what I mean?
You just said it. That's what I was talking about when I was talking about protection.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't just talking about when I was talking about protection. I'm talking about spiritual protection, not just being able to put up your dukes. You got to have that force field around you. But go ahead.
That halo around you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So PlayStation, Xbox.
X.
NBA Live, NBA 2K.
2K.
Muhammad Ali, Bob Marley.
Oh, I gotta go with Ali, man.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, here we go. A Cadillac or a Lincoln?
Caddy.
Samsung Galaxy, iPhone.
I gotta go with the Samsung.
LeBron James or Noop Colin Kaepernick?
I gotta go with LeBron.
Gangster rapper, meaning you know, Pookie in the projects or in the hood on the low end, whatever, or 12?
I'm going with the gangster rapper.
You know, we haven't. Where is this? We haven't 12. We've had women come on this
100%.
show. I mean, we've had people from all walks. Not one from all walks.
100%.
I mean, this guy's from the projects, and you would expect him to say that, maybe. But we've had, haven't we? 100%.
100%.
Come
It's
on, 12.
absolute. It's absolute. You got to do better out there.
Come on, 12. Come on.
They horrible, man. Chicago. Man, I can't take it. And I'm talking about the sitcom.
Yes.
Boy, you killing me, boy. You killing me, boy.
We got a few more. Bid Whist, Spades.
Actually, I'm going to go with Bid Whist, but I'm a Spades player. Bid is the real card game.
Okay. Tiger Woods, Arthur Ashe.
Arthur.
Yo. Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali.
I got to go with Ali.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
I got to go with Mike, man. I love Prince, but I got to go with Mike.
Yeah, that's what Tori says. He be talking about body of work with Biggie and Tupac. Yeah, it's a body of work. Although
Man,
they were
Mike,
prolific. They were both prolific, but yeah. Mike was...
Yeah. Mike was in a slightly different stratosphere. Slightly. Because Prince, I mean, it's hard to compare them, but
Mike couldn't play no instruments, and Prince could play.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah.
That's why I had to choose Mike.
Yeah.
Because he was less talented than Prince. He had to work hard. He had to be more creative.
Yeah.
He had to be more creative.
That dude, he could like beatbox.
Yes.
Every instrument. He could tell them what to play. Like he could make sound like what he wanted it to sound like.
Yeah.
And
So Tori, he'd come in the lab with you, and then you would make a hit and get half of the production credit with him, because all you were able to do is
had to do was, you know what I mean? Like, real talk. Like, he had his idea what he wanted to come in there. You know, although Prince could actually go and put it down himself.
Hey, they say him and Prince beef too. All right,
bro.
Hold on. There we go. You in there? You in there, Pender?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
We're wrapping it up. All right. Chris Brown.
Oh, we all good.
Chris Brown, Justin Bieber.
I gotta go with CB.
Yeah, you already know.
All right. Elvis Presley, Little Richard.
Little Rich.
Bob Marley or Nas?
Ooh, I gotta go with. Oh, that's a hard one.
It's hard, ain't it?
Damn. I gotta call that one even. I gotta pass on that one. Shit, that was too hard.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, so yeah, man, you got through them all, man. That was the 9 and 9, and you did a great job, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Nobody has picked 12. We have to get 12 on the show if they step up and be.
Man, I taught in some tough schools, man. The students would not forgive me if I would have picked 12. Matter of fact, it's making me laugh because one of my students, his nickname was 13, and as soon as you said 12, if I would have picked 12, 13 would have been pissed at me. And I taught this dude like 7, 8 years ago. I still remember his name.
How poetic is
that? I say, man, why they call you 13? And he say, because I'm opposite of 12. I said, oh okay.
Yeah, and you should have talked to him about what opposite means. You know what I mean?
He didn't know. He didn't know.
I know.
He thought it was one of the 4 directions.
I thought he was going to say, because I always got 1 up on 12. You know what I mean? I'm opposite. I'm opposite. I'm literate. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I sit him down. He didn't know better. Give me 3 minutes with that kid. They be looking at me like they want to shoot me in the face too, but they don't know. You know? Can I shoot him in the face?
Yeah. I forgot about you two dudes, man. I miss y'all, man.
Hey, bro. But man, hey, that's all we had. I mean, unless you got something else, man, we never kick a brother out. Never. So
Now, give me 1 second, though. I just gotta grab my lighter. I'll be right back. Is that cool?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I guess he wants to sage up, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, Self. I mean, yeah. Hey, we figured it was going to be jewel after jewel today.
Yeah, and they tried to make it hard, but guess what?
Yeah, their shenanigans costed us 20 minutes. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
Self Love Show must go on, and
Yeah.
it's gonna go on. And you know what? I'm gonna have to pull together those parts. They just trying to make it hard on us out there, but the information is amazing and expanding. So we're gonna keep pushing forward, no matter what happens, what they trying to do or pull.
Yeah, and it's just going to make it harder for. Stop that there. Ask him to start his stuff up. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be harder. But yeah, we played the video for the nation. We got the 11-year-old activist lined up for the 10th.
Yes, man, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's just interesting to talk to a lifelong educator, and then
can call in for the show out there.
Hold on a second. Thanks for calling the Self Love Show. How can I? Yes, what you got, caller? Your name and where you from?
State.
My name is Andre. I'm in Las Vegas. Just want to show love to the show, show love to the guests. Represent
Hold on. Can you hear me now? Hey, caller. Something just happened. I had him on, and then
I heard
fancy. You hear?
I heard him, and then he went away when he said.
Okay, we got you now again. So can you repeat that, caller? My bad.
He's on the
he's got the show in the background again.
Instead of
yeah. All right, okay. Caller. We'll get it. And thanks, man. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean he's got to figure that out. I'm the overseer. Do a how to not be listening to the show in the background when you call into a show. You can do it for a radio show. I mean, this has been known information for years.
Even not for the radio show, they tell you don't do
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, come on.
That feed come through.
Right. I mean, right. Yeah. Self Love has explained it to him in so many different ways.
Yeah. And it's not working out there.
Well, he said my bad, but no, we appreciate you calling in, bro. And that was on me, Noop, because I had, it wasn't coming through the big speaker, so you know what I'm saying. So, yeah. But all right, Self. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Anything else in the chat? We got a big ups to Pat. Pat, we got to get your brother in here, Noop. I think he's next up.
We definitely got to get him in here.
We got B Funk in mind too. Is he an educator or is he just a coach?
No, educator and
educator and coach.
Yes,
administrator. Both.
Yeah, we did a whole lot of schools together, man. We've been around the block.
You and Funk or okay?
Me and Funk, and we got some things coming in the future too. Aikido program and academic program. It's gonna pop off in 21. We're looking for a building right now. So all you people out there, man, support us. Let your people know about us, because we want to be able to give to the children. We want to be able to give to the families. We want to be able to give to the community. This thing is beautiful, and it's ours.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I had a great time, man. I thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. It don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the Black community, for real. Like people look look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro,
They so ignorant, man.
ignorant.
They're so
Hey, but this platform's
Your
your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made
for
for
you
and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy
ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it is that if I had known these things when I was at Illinois State, I'll probably have about 10 schools across the country by now, man. I got a late start because I didn't know really what I was going to do.
Hey, we start when we're supposed to.
There you go. Yeah, you're right.
Happens,
well,
like
wisdom is hindsight, but
Period.
you know,
Yeah.
but you know, intelligence is being able to pay attention to that wisdom,
yeah,
right?
Man,
So I can't relive it, but I can, you know, start now and then
Man.
also tell others.
man.
There you go. Oh,
so
man.
so they could start sooner.
Exactly. The future's bright, baby. The
Facts.
future's bright.
Yes.
We coming for Bret Hart. We coming for Shoesmith. We coming for all of them.
He didn't even mention Ray because he knows better. He knows better. Than that. Hey, he knows better. Hey, Ray been sitting up. Hey, boy, Ray come in. Your test, boy, you couldn't mess around. But they was, you know, racial. I've been looking back on it.
Hey, no, that's what it's about, man. If they created that environment for their people,
that's what Tori be talking about.
You can't be mad. We got to do that.
We gotta. If it's a standard, you're right, bro. You're right,
man. My teacher used to get on me about that. Boy, he was my teacher, Mr. AC. His family live in the Bahamas by way of Africa. He taught me a lot of the things that I know and understand about traditional African religion, about protection, about talismans, about the Quran, about scripture, and these things are ancestral knowledge, man. They so important. And you know, the crazy thing about my relationship with Mr. AC, about two almost 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years in June, he made his transition from this physical earth. But he more alive in my life now than he ever been. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Knowledge is very, very powerful.
It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi before he got struck down. Say, "Oh, you can make me way more powerful than in this."
Yeah,
physical.
he let him kill.
I am a witness of that.
Yeah.
And there's a true connection between both sides, and we got to tap into that before we leave. It's possible.
Yeah,
man. Hey, facts. Hey, but the CEO is here, and they're gonna start playing us off here real soon. So, unless you got something else, bro. You know, but the CEO came home and, you know, I got to open up these windows and get this.
So I just want to end it with 2 words. Good love.
Facts.
Love.
Great time.
I love the way you're moving too, because you're telling the kids right, bro, with the vibrations. Yeah. You know, as long as you're on the path of righteousness, you have nothing to worry about. Even if you get blipped out, you won't feel a thing.
Yep. Yeah. Yo, and peace and blessings to the nation.
Yo. Appreciate you, brother.
Love, honor, and respect. No
so you gotta get them. Yeah. Love, honor, and respect. Absolutely.
Love, honor, respect.
All right. So let's see here. There we go. Remove. All right. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, ran a little long today only because of the technical difficulties, but well worth it.
Man, it was. I mean, I know the internet wasn't ready, but I know we was going to overload it where it had the buffer.
Well, yeah, I think in our promo video, the spooks be looking at our promo videos. You know, we're on there like the internet ain't ready for this.
They're like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, who is this?
What are they going to do?
Who? They Googled them. Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Who are they talking to?
Oh, wait a minute. We're gonna have to put the algorithm on that one.
Yeah.
AI's all over that.
We're not sending out any alerts or anything. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna get anything like that. But magnanimous, bro. Magnanimous.
Every show exceeds my expectation. I don't know. I guess I just need I raise my expectation and it just still gets exceeded. Like
it's fractals. It's fractals, bro.
Man.
You know what I mean? It feels exceeded. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. I know what you're saying.
It's the expectation.
Yes,
man,
it's the fractals.
Period.
Yeah.
That's why it's more.
Yeah.
I'm expecting more. I'm wanting more, so I'm getting more.
More.
Every time.
Because it's different, but more.
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody's been the same. But there've been a lot of similarities because it's from the same essence.
Man, a lot of the same foundations, a lot of the same point of views that we already have. Not the same point of views, but the tenets that of the more growth and development program has been exuded by every single guest, at least two of them, but at least one of them from every single guest we've had on here. They've just like preaching to the choir.
Facts.
And it's such a beautiful and wonderful feeling knowing that we are growing and like minds can come together and we can expand. That's all about the Self-Love Nation. That's what it's about.
Yeah, we're playing you off, Jim. We're playing people off here tonight. But I hear you. Yes, it's all about the
breaking down the
It's all about the
nation.
Self-Love Nation, and you're right there, Jim. Hey, next week we got Wildebeest, and we're going to talk house music. We're continuing our house music series. This is number 3. Yes. So that's going to be Wednesday, y'all. If you're a Chicago house head, I can't call him a house head no more because he gets all butthurt. But if you're a Chicago house person, this is the place to be on Wednesday. Would you say, Self Love?
Yeah, because this brother is deep in it. That's just the truth. He was around near the beginnings of it, at least in Chicago when it kicked off.
Facts.
And, man, very knowledgeable about it.
And wrote a book.
Yeah.
You happen to know the title offhand? Well, we're not going to talk about that. We'll tease it a little bit, but he's agreed to come back for the big author show that we got lined up. I got some reading to do too, bro. I got some reading.
Man, yeah, we both got some
lessons.
Some books added to our list out
and
there.
People, I am hammering through the workbook. So just know that I'm hammering through it, and Self Love remind me we'll go through it on Tuesday, man. You got to remind me of this, man. So
Yeah,
talk about
it didn't. Mines ain't came yet, so
Yeah, right. I got you.
So
yeah.
If mine was here, I'd be like, yeah, yo.
Right. So
All
right. Well, bullets are boomerangs.
Stand your ground.
Murder. Well. Murder, suicide.
Man, and an eye for an eye.
Facts. Look at that. Spooks. An eye for an eye.